Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. I'm not important. I'm just a question asker. My name is Raheem, but this is my brother from another mother, but we got the same father. This is Captain Leonard. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem and the Morning Glow family.
Len, I gotta ask you a question, man. We got a topic we're gonna talk about this morning. Before I do that, Mr. Mike Trench. Good morning, Trench. I hope I said your last name right, brother. Good morning to you. Good morning, success. Good morning to you. That's a great name, success. Good morning, success. I like saying that and how that sounds in the morning. So good morning to you all as well. Javier, good morning. Got people coming in. The phone lines are open 508-924-3521 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We'd definitely love to have your input on the topic we're going to talk about today. Now, Leonard, that final hearing is today, and I think they're going to concentrate mostly on Trump today. What do you anticipate from this hearing?
They've been doing a pretty good job, so I think they'll wrap up pretty good. Of course, we know Bannon and I believe that Bannon and Trump wanted to insert some foolishness
Mm-hmm.
into it. However, I think he was actually rejected for the very simple fact that Scott Bannon has an additional contempt of Congress charge that he will be facing.
Wow.
And so we know that up to this point, we have Republicans that have pretty much cooperated with the
Mm-hmm.
committee and sharing information. However, Scott Bannon was one of the ones that he ain't coming. He don't care. He
Yeah.
don't answer subpoenas. He worked
Mm-hmm.
directly for his boy, the president,
Mm-hmm.
and the
Mm-hmm.
president has invoked his executive privilege and all these types of things. But pretty much January 6th committee says we pretty much have enough.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
They pretty much have enough. He won't be given no special privileges to put on one of his little shows that, he would probably use to distract the justice process. But the Department of Justice, I believe, is ready to move forward as well after these committee hearings with
Mm-hmm.
all of the information that they would have.
Now, Leonard, are you surprised? Are you surprised that some of the Republicans has come forthcoming and quote unquote did the right thing? Are you surprised at that?
Well, it depends.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone could have been doing the right thing from the beginning, but they chose to do the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
So they all still, to me, are
Mm-hmm.
associated with Donald Trump and his attempt to destroy the American government.
Mm-hmm.
So they still, I understand they may have taken deals and we know
Mm-hmm.
them, but they have been accessories.
Mm-hmm.
They have been accessories to wrongdoing.
So will there be charges moving forward?
Well, that's up to the Department of Justice.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, Department of Justice won't delay. But they did request the information from these committee hearings, which means they will be using it. They have been punishing and sentencing individuals that took place in January the 6th.
Mm-hmm.
They've already actually raided a couple homes and seized computers and things of that nature for certain officials that work for Trump's campaign as well.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what they do.
Okay. How do you feel about it, Leonard? Are you confident that they're going to do the right thing?
I think they're doing their best.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully it doesn't seem as if, because you see a lot more people that are unhappy with what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that, or they definitely want to distance themselves from it.
What how could one not be unhappy with what happened and how it was done and how it played itself out? How could one not be unhappy with that?
Because they are accessories and
Mm.
they stand to be sentenced
Mm-hmm.
and convicted. So
Wow.
now the majority of them, who were pretty much more underlings as well, they need to share that information in order to make deals
Mm-hmm.
with the Department of Justice. Hey, look, I cooperated.
Mm-hmm.
You might not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily have my hand in the pot, so I'm gonna go ahead and cooperate and tell you everything I know.
Mm-hmm.
But
Wow.
then there are some, we'll see if they go after the, I'm not going to say petty crimes that, there's a lot of people in between Trump and the front door.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And of course, he supposedly was claiming executive privilege, but
Mm-hmm.
say that I don't think there was any real declaration of executive privilege
Mm-hmm.
yet. But that's what they've been hiding behind, and we know that the president can invoke executive privilege.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's to his benefit. He is definitely not a good. Think about it. Now people understand more about being quiet.
Yes, sir.
He is not
Mm-hmm.
the best witness for himself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You ain't seen foolishness
It's about to come out, huh?
until this man, if this man actually were to sit before that committee,
Mm-hmm.
the president would just ex-president or whatever make a fool out of himself, more
Mm-hmm.
so than he's already done. Or he do some type of weird thing to delay or distract the process, which
Oh,
is
that's
what
what he
he's
would do.
about, right?
Yeah.
Which is what he's about. But
Mm-hmm.
when people are up front asking questions and sending emails about government pardons, those people need to go directly to jail
Mm-hmm.
because they are aware of the wrongdoing that they.
Mm-hmm. That they've perpetrated absolutely.
Oh yeah, they had
Mm-hmm.
their hand way in the fire.
Mm-hmm. Deep, way down, deep, deep. God is good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Goddess, we're talking about the hearing, and the last hearing is going to be today, and they're going to concentrate a big part on Trump today and his part in it and what he did. What do you anticipate coming out of this hearing today?
Hmm. I'm just gonna say, I'm not. I'm just gonna sit back and watch
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because I don't anticipate anything. If it was us, then I anticipate something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's them. So every time I'm at a shock and a awe because and I feel like we should never be at a shock and a awe when it comes to justice.
Mm-hmm.
But justice is something totally different when it comes to them. So, but why should I be at a shock and a awe? Because the system was not meant for us anyway. It was meant
Mm-hmm.
to protect them, not us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Uh, that's just basically where I stand. I right now I basically try to stay out of it because I'm just sitting there watching.
Mm-hmm.
But I also sit there watching how a whole black couple that nobody's talking about is killed. They try to say it was domestic violence in Bixby that started the Black Wall Street Chamber of Commerce.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And see that.
Uh, Nobody's talking about that. It's not like over CNN. They're trying to say it was domestic violence. Uh, we're working on it to see if it's, to find out. Me and Tawana and some other people are working on it to see has there been past history of it. I got fillers out there in the street down there in Oklahoma trying to get me some info.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can't get none there, I'm going down there
Mm-hmm. Wow.
because that right there matters to me.
Mm-hmm. And you said something. One of the things that you said, and I'll definitely about the case that you're talking about. If you want to, have me as a part of it, or however you want to do it, or how we could fit in, let me know. But you said something in what you just said. You said there's a different justice system. There's a different justice system here when it comes to us and when it comes to them. Now, Mr. Hicks, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning? Hi, Mr.
Good
Hicks.
morning. Good morning. I'm doing fine.
Good,
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Hicks.
Good morning, Glow.
What do you say to that, man? Because I agree with her. There seems to be a different justice system, one for those individuals and another one for us. And it's very apparent. Look at some of the things that's been happening, that's been moving forward. You can see it. It's very obvious. But what do you say about that, brother? Do you think there's two different justice systems here in America?
Of course. Always have been. Always have been. It's historical.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like, how do you answer that? If you look at history and look, it's just not us in this situation, but it's always the elite and the powerful over the poor and the weak.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's something that has evolved over the centuries to be a little bit better than the past. Not as hard as it always has been.
Mm-hmm.
You can find cases if you got money that you can get justice. You can divert justice. You can know people, connections. Everything is ruled by these what do you bullies and conspiracies and all that stuff. So yeah, there always have been a double system.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you have money,
Yeah.
you got contacts.
Mm-hmm. Now, now, excuse
Yeah.
me. Now, Leonard, what would you say to the individuals that's listening to this broadcast? Some that look like us and others that don't. That will say, "Oh Lord, here they go playing that race card again." They always go back to that race card. Why do they always got to go back to the race card? Leonard, what do you say to that individual?
You know, I can't stand talking about people that don't say their names. Who you talking about?
There's plenty of them out there, brother.
Okay, you talking about whites and blacks?
Well, yeah, to a certain degree, yes. But like I say, some of them look like us. That's the ones we're talking when we say the black, and some don't look like us. That's the one we're talking about, the Caucasian brothers and sisters. So, what do you say to either one of them? Go both of them got the same argument, or try to make the same point.
Well, you have a right to your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You mean that's for that's the individual thing for me. There is no collective conscience on the matter.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a problem, and everybody knows it needs to be fixed. But
Mm-hmm.
when there is justice there, I don't naturally assume anything. I see what happens, and I use those types of cases and
Examples.
things
Mm-hmm.
like that to prove the points that I make, not
Mm-hmm.
that everyone else makes,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know from what point or what perspective another person may come from.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't sit there and generalize as much as other people would.
Exactly. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. The phone line's open. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. What do you say to the people that say, Goddess, there they go. Every time we have a conversation, every time we talk about something, they're gonna always pull out their doggone race card. Why do they always pull out their race card? Goddess, what you gonna now? Some of the people that saying that look like us, and some naturally do not look like us, but they're trying to make the same point. Goddess, what do you say about them saying that we pulled out the race card?
Stop making us have to.
Mm. Mm.
I mean, there should be situations we shouldn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
In 2022, we shouldn't have to. We shouldn't have to deal with the illegal voting situations that's going down. We shouldn't have to deal with the government trying to tell us what to do regarding our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
We shouldn't have. This is certain things that we should not have to do.
Mm-hmm.
We should have been amended the Constitution where it was protecting us, and that we're involved in that in the Constitution. There's just certain things that we shouldn't have to do.
Mm-hmm.
We shouldn't have to tell the police officers stop killing us.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
I shouldn't have to go on my job and deal with racism, whether it's at its mildest or at its worst.
Mm-hmm.
So if that didn't take place, then I wouldn't have to bring up the race.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true.
So stop doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm at.
Exactly. That's good. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call and let us know how you feel about this whole situation. 508-924-3521 about the race card. And like God has said, if it didn't happen, then maybe there will be no reason to pull out the race card if that's what it is that you see us as doing when we're stating the facts about what's going on. You called it the race card. But my thing is, stop doing it. Mr. Hicks, talk to me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I don't know. Shoot.
Come on, brother.
For my understanding, from my reading of history, these are things that's always posed any society, whether it's malefic, whether it's just a one race society or that's mixed. There's always a thing about the weak and the strong, and the weak and the elite, I guess. But I guess it depends on how you want to look at things. You can look. I've looked at history a number of different ways. When I was young, I looked at history that made me angry. As I got older, I looked at it and felt confused. I didn't know that much about what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
But as I begin to get a glimpse through studying and through not just listening what people say on the news, but really digging in and doing research, not fast checking with Google.
Mm-hmm.
How do you trust them? How
Yeah.
do you trust anything? I think how do you trust? How do you have expect? You can't even expect justice
Mm-hmm.
and fairness.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you got to force it. You got to force it with a lot of effort. But it's not. Hey, but then I look again. I look at a country that was in the origins some murderous folks running around killing, taking everything. Somehow through the process, they civilized themselves on the surface, but the things that always separate us are still going on in their minds. And they
Mm-hmm.
see that they're losing grip on power. Their population's going down, and they see. Frantz Fanon, who was a psychiatrist during the Algerian Revolution, he expressed one thing that always stunned me. He said, when the change comes, there's going to be a pouring of bloodshed. It's necessary, it's almost inevitable, because people are so pent up in, the oppressed people. And it's
Mhm.
not just black people in this country now.
Yes.
It's white, poor, cracker, white people.
Hey.
But
Mhm.
there's the exposed aspect.
Mhm. Wow. Wow. Linda, how do you address how do you address that? Because there's some people that's very adamant about the fact that there they go. There they go again. The race card. I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it was coming. There it is. They're talking the race. Everything is based on the race about these people. Why do they always do such a thing? Leonard, talk to me.
I mean, if you just want to talk about it, you can talk about it, but everybody exploits race.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody exploits race to
In
their
some kind of
benefit
way.
in some
Mm-hmm.
kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you're working, like, say, with people with claims of racism, I've seen it that way as well. You know, they
Mm-hmm.
fired me because I'm racist. No, they didn't. They fired you because you had 3 no-shows on your record. That's why you
Mm-hmm.
were fired.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, if I was white, it ain't got nothing to do with you was white. You were late and you violated the policy, and that's why you're fired.
Mm-hmm.
Has nothing to do with your race. But I understand why you would want to use that. You use everything available to you in crisis situations.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen people exploit it for money, exploit it just for personal gain. Um, some people believe that everything is racial.
Mm-hmm.
That's further along that extreme. They don't think outside of race. They can't think. They're trapped in this thing called race,
Mm-hmm.
and they will never get out. And that's more sad to me than anything.
Do you think they're hostages of it?
I believe so, yes.
Wow.
But then again, that was the intent of racism as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, you know, people have to think about that. Like I like what Brother Hicks said in his research and his studying, and the more he finds out, he said, you know what? This has been going on for a long time, and it's not just race.
Mm-hmm.
And now people are starting to understand that better. People's eyes are being opened to the fact that, hey, I'm oppressed too.
Mm-hmm.
But see, they couldn't share that feeling through any other caveat than racism.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got white brothers like Badger are bringing a perspective. Classism is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you ain't got no money, it don't even matter if you white.
Mm-hmm.
You're still being oppressed and taken advantage of because you don't have the economic ability to protect yourself.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
so lots of things are bumping heads. You know, you got the feminism, the racism, sexism, and then the who knows what ism these other people working on.
Mm-hmm.
But you
Me,
know,
the meisms.
there will always be a person or an interest to protect yourself. People
Mm-hmm.
hide behind certain things to
Mm-hmm.
cover up their own inability to do the right thing. Say, for
Mm-hmm.
instance, as Christian believers, we shouldn't even be caught up in the legal system.
Yeah.
because our legal system should be higher in standard.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? If we're following the laws of our God, we shouldn't be as much into this legal system, especially for criminal activity and behavior.
Mm-hmm.
So that's directly from the Bible, that these laws and things were made for wrongdoing because people were doing those things. As Christians, we shouldn't be doing those things.
I had to say, be in the world, but not of the world.
Think about it. That's a whole nother system that these
Mhm.
other people don't know. And then you say that there's another system for us and them and blah, 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 when it's really evil people that are part of an agenda. Remove these people and you remove their agenda.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Rico, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Man, I can't complain, man. I'm just thankful to see another beautiful day, man.
Yes, sir. Hey, likewise, brother. Likewise. We're talking about the legal system, and I know your answer, brother. I know your answer already. I know you, but I'm gonna ask you the question because there's some people out there that may be tuning in for the first time and may not know what your answer is. But we've talked about this before, and I know how you feel about it. Is there two different legal systems here in America, one for them and one for us?
It's I'm gonna say it's a bias in everything.
Mhm.
Every human being has a bias, and those people that work in the judicial system, they're human beings.
Mm-hmm.
So just like with any person, you know, when we was talking about saving people yesterday, you know, we was talking about how it would be more urgent for you to save your family,
Mm-hmm.
sacrifice and risk your life to save your family than it probably would be for a stranger.
Mm-hmm.
Well, people gonna have people that, you know, others that they have favor for.
Yeah.
It might be your tribe, it might be your race, it might be your family, it might be your city, it might be a classmate, a frat brother,
Mm-hmm.
a Mason.
Mm-hmm.
And we condone this behavior. We condone this society that says, you know what, let's join these groups and these clubs and cliques, and we're gonna give you an extra little benefit for just being a part of the crew.
Mm-hmm.
So you might run across a judge and he sees you a Mason. Well, you know what? You represented yourself in court today and you didn't go along with the system, but being that you're a Mason, I'm going to give you a little bit more favor. I'm going to grant you custody of your child. Oh, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
It happens. You know, there's benefits to being a part of cliques that can get favor. And some of those cliques, they have organizations within the police department, within the judicial system. Look what happened with Jackie Johnson and what's those guys, Michael, son and father and son down in Brunswick.
Mm-hmm.
Just by being associated with the judicial system and the police department, one prosecutor, Jackie Johnson, said, you know what? I don't think I'll be able to preside over this case, but what I will do is I'll let y'all know what's going on, give y'all the heads up and protect y'all as long as I can. And then we'll do the worst investigation possible to make sure we look out in your best interest. And then when we pass it on to this next prosecutor, we're going to ask him to find that there's insufficient evidence to prove of any wrongdoing, that you were justified in killing this man. Even though we saw the video, even though we saw this man follow you down, follow you and block you in and get shot, watch you get shot down, you still one of us. You're a good old boy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I look out for you as long as I can. And guess what? This was the second time she did this. She let some cops off, I think a year or two before that, for killing another black woman in a car for bumping a police car. They wasn't in danger. She just bumped the car. And they lit her up with over 20-something shots, man, and got it on body cam. And she called it justified. So, I mean, you know, man, yeah, it's a double standard. It's two different judicial systems, but it's all based on the direction of the people in authority and the people in power. It's really based within that person, because it doesn't have to be that way. It's all based on the judge, the prosecutor, the cops, whoever is in position to make sure they deal out everything equally.
Good deal. Good deal. Let me go back to God. Are we talking reality right here, or is a person that's listening in? Could they say, well, you know, that's just, you know, y'all, that's not facts. It's not based on facts. What you talk about is not facts. God is always speaking facts.
So if I know we gotta sit up and realize that. Let's start talking about acting like the system is failing us. The system wasn't even thinking of us from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's number one. That's a fact. And the other main fact is, um, I want to say, don't be fooled if Caucasians were truly superior. You know, they feel like they are superior, but don't be fooled because they wouldn't have to hide so many truths to perpetuate so many lies and work so hard to handicap those who they consider inferior.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically where I stand at, you know. But I sit back and I think about a lot of stuff that the reason why a lot of things is changing is because the truth is coming out. So that's why we're bringing up critical race theories and they don't want certain stuff to come out. It's coming out. It's coming out. And their kids are starting to believe the truth now. And they're looking at their grandpas. They ain't even going to go to great. They're looking at, you know, their own family is turning against their own children because they having kids by black men.
Wow.
So their grandkids ain't even accepted.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is real reality. It's a whole lot of things more to it than just one precept of it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call and talk to us, man. If you agree with us, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine. But let's have the conversation. Let's have the dialogue. Give us a call and let's do the dialogue thing. Hicks, what's on your heart, brother?
Just listening, and wow, I'm sort of speechless this morning. The subject is difficult for me. Going through the justice system and watching the system, and finally understand the system. When I got locked down, that I took courses, law and justice courses, begin to understand the web that we're involved in.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe in my heart of hearts what the sister just said there is that people are waking up. I think it's if I look in a prophecy kind of sense, when it talks about the revelation of a period of time when everything that was hidden is starting to be revealed.
Mm-hmm.
I think within the next 50 years, if we last that long, we'll look at a whole different reality.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to rise up and no stopping it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Got to be a change.
So there's an upward swing.
Just think about the law and justice issues. We had people go before Congress, go before under oath and lie. Later reveal that it's a lie. Nothing happens.
Mm-hmm.
Russiagate, all the things that's going. All these. Just even after, I mean, I'm not a Trumper. He's a crazy guy, but at the same time, I look for fairness, and I see that everybody on the left. I mean, you can stand out wherever you see him, get him, go do this to him, don't let him do, and do. I mean, and that's all one-sided, and it just gets me when I look at people and see that they're so caught up in ideology, they don't see the truth, the reality.
Mm-hmm.
They make one side good guy, another side bad guy, and they both a mixture of both.
Mm-hmm. Leonard,
when I first turned, I heard someone talking about this January 6th. They stopped calling it insurrection now; they call it a riot.
Mm-hmm.
And those people they locked up for all those months still there, and all the stuff that went out west, all of that stuff, all of it sanctioned by the left. And that's just it. I think we need this balance of a left and a right to find somewhere in the middle to agree on.
Mm-hmm.
But when one side has the power of the institutions of government, the DOJ and the media, CNN and ABC, all you ever see those skits where they put all those newscasters saying the exact same words reading the script?
Yeah. Yeah.
I found out that everybody you see on television is on a contract. They're on a contract to follow what the paper and the instruction that comes down. They repeat it like actors. But yeah.
That's true. Absolutely.
But I'm listening. I'm getting a lot.
Good deal. Good deal. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
No, I would just advise people to use their best resources to make the decisions that's going to keep them right. However, you know, I'm glad that it came to me when I was speaking before. I am so glad I tried to live a life to a better, higher standard. Keeps me out of a lot of trouble. You know, I don't have to deal with the laws and things like that related to murder because I'm not a murderer. I'm not a terrorist or anything like that. So all my fights are going to be righteous.
Leonard, the insurrection, or like Brother Hicks said a second ago, the riot. Were those individuals that were a part of that? Could they be considered a domestic terroristic group?
Not only are they terrorists, they are definitely fit the description of enemy combatants of the United States of America.
Wow.
It's all there.
You
know, so one, I don't look for no sympathy for none of them from me. I wasn't there doing that, so I ain't got to make an excuse for why I was there. I ain't supporting them. I'm not agreeing with the fact that it should have happened. It's those people that do that you have to watch, just like them Confederates. Like I used to tell people first, you know, I used to wrote in a book when I was a kid that I was going to move down south and raise a bunch of hell and death to the Confederacy. I was a little boy then because they were wrong, and it was wrong for what they insisted on doing to people that looked like me. You know, so I don't say the system this, the system that. No, the wicked people that run the system is the problem. People say, well, this was never designed. Read the Constitution. Then compare it to other countries' constitutions. All the other civilizations that have tried to fight for some type of democratic government style. Then you will see that this is probably worth fighting for. It just might be worth fighting for if you got on the right side. But if you're one of those type of people that are gloom and doom and have no hope, dig your hole now. Dig your hole now, because there's no way for you to survive. There's no way for you to win because you've already decided that you can't.
508-924-3521. I'm gonna continue to get the number 508-924-3521. Give us a call. Tell us what you think. Rico, what do you mean? And sometimes Rico, these people will say we're not terrorists, we're not domestic terrorists, we're people that's upholding our right and trying to save our country. They feel that. They think that.
I mean, but the truth is the truth. You know, if they ain't terrorists, Malcolm X was Chinese. You know, but they did say Columbus discovered America.
Yeah.
That's the same type of mindset. They did say Martin Luther King Jr. was a communist. But we know what that Nobel Peace Prize and what the people around the world said and how they felt about Martin Luther King. He couldn't have been as dastardly as they said that he was. But guess what they say?
Yeah.
So now they're saying, you know what? We went up in the Capitol and did a whole lot of things that wasn't supposed to be done. Those things they call treasonous acts. We did that. And we knew what we were doing. We actually, matter of fact, we sent people up there the night before to plant pipe bombs and all kind of weapons all over the place to overthrow governments, because we know that is a tactic of our government. Government, not to just overthrow our government, but to overthrow other people's government. So now we could stick our nose in other people's business to overthrow their government. Why wouldn't it work here? You ever seen that movie? That's what a lot of people would say. And so all it takes is the idea. But now you did it.
Yeah.
No. We were just protesting. We was rioting. What about Black Lives Matter? Black Lives Matter then stormed the Capitol and started talking about killing politicians.
Exactly.
And hanging people.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't go in there breaking and entering. They didn't hurt cops.
Mm-hmm.
That should be, you know what I'm saying, a charge within itself, what they did to the Capitol Police that were there, that assault.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you asked that question earlier about the hearing tonight, man. You know, I've been sort of disappointed anyway that they spaced it out so much the way they did, because it made people not actually be able to keep up with it the way that they should.
Mm-hmm.
See, maybe they should have did it night after night after night after night.
And you and I
This is the
talked
first
about
time I ever seen a congressional hearing go down like this. I mean, I'm just wondering, like, you know, man, what they doing one a week now?
Mm-hmm. What do you think they're trying to continuously gather information why they did it, or what do you think the purpose of it is, why they spaced it out as they did? Because you and I spoke about this in the beginning, and I thought it was going to be every night until they got to the end, but naturally it was not. So why do you think they did it?
To keep people from being so focused on it.
Mm.
So when they don't throw the book at these people, like they didn't throw the book at George Bush and Dick Cheney and investigate 9/11, just like they didn't throw the book at Prescott Bush for helping finance the Nazis. You know, they still locking up war criminals.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of Americans didn't get locked up on their participation. They committed some acts against the United States by doing that. Actually, they worked against the United States because we weren't supposed to be helping the Nazis exterminate Jews. Mm-hmm. But they gave them all the tools necessary. So, you know, man, people going. I think they did that to get us off focus. So when they do slap them on the wrist,
mm-hmm.
the public and society will be like on to the next, looking for the next viral moment. Because right about now, I pretty much lost interest in it myself.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Anybody have? We're going to go to our topic of the day. Anybody have anything else they want to say on this particular topic before we move on?
Yes, just 1 minute.
Okay.
As far as this January 6th thing, I find it. No, I don't find it strange. It's understandable that they don't indicate the agents operating within that crowd insinuating it for political advantage. That I've seen films of people that never showed up in the to be questioned, even that would play active parts in that.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know from my days as activist in Panther that Carter Trail, anyway, it's documented.
Yeah.
They get in the middle of it, act like they you, and they throw the bombs, they throw stuff, and they rile people to do it. And that's what January 6th actually was. Trump was stupid. He played into their hands and gave them this weapon to fight against them. But he was always dumb and smart at the same time, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all I have to say about that.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Absolutely. Anybody else have anything they want to say before we move on? Okay. Rico, we're going to jump into our topic for today, and I think this is going to take us all the way close to the top of the 10 o'clock hour. Right. And so I wanted to really give it the time that it needs. In Akron, Ohio, the young man they say he was running from the police. They did a chase. He got out the car and he ran and trying to get away. They shot him 60 some times. And they tried to say, that, he was shooting back, there's evidence that said there was fireworks and stuff like that going on. There's a lot of different things that's going on with this particular case. But they shot him 60 some times. He laid on the ground, dead. And they went up to his dead body, rolled him over and put handcuffs on. A man that they've shot 60 some times is obviously 60 some shots. He's dead. Rico, my question is, why put handcuffs? And we're going to go a lot of different directions with this thing. But why put handcuffs on a dead man?
You know what, man? I think there's some little secret thing within them, to the point to where if it's ever an investigation of the times that they did that, because this ain't the first time they've done it, it might be symbolic or something, man. Because it's unnecessary for sure. Yeah, obviously it's unnecessary. But like I said, this isn't the first time we've seen that happen. You know, and I don't want to make it a race issue, but I don't recall seeing them do that to white
No,
Victim.
I've never seen it. I've never seen nor heard of it.
Me either, but I've definitely seen that with black people, them being cuffed. You know what I'm saying? I mean, oh, we got to make sure we secure our position, or we secure the scene or whatever. But the man dead.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But to me, you know, even though, like I said, that's something symbolic, but the worst of it is just the way that they killed him anyway. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, we could speak on the handcuffs, and once again, that may be a distraction from the most important part. If you look at that video, man, the most important thing is why did they have such a bloodlust to shoot this man this many times when he was down? I mean, he was not a threat. You know what I'm saying? Those words always mean something. Was he a threat? Was he a threat? That man wasn't no threat.
No.
But you go ahead.
And I said I painted the picture as I did and stopped at the handcuffs because I wanted to ask the question, and the topic of the day is why put handcuffs on a dead man. But we certainly going to talk about all the things that led up to the point where they put the handcuffs on him, because there's a lot of different things that led up to that. There's a lot of different things that happened in the course before they put the handcuffs on a dead man. But how threatening is a dead man that's been shot 60 sometimes on the ground, that you have to turn him over, his dead body over, and put handcuffs on him? How threatening is he?
You know, the handcuffs might be the sign of we got our man. Dead or alive. We still got him, and we still promised to slap them cuffs on him. You was trying to die. You was trying to dodge getting these cuffs on you, and you still got them cuffs on you. It might just be something symbolic. I mean, people keep symbols of memorabilia. You know, I mean, to me, it's almost like asking, why did they cut the fingertips and the penises off of men when they hung them and burnt them alive back in the day? Why did they take body parts? They wanted memorabilia. They wanted something symbolic of what they experienced and what they done. It always means something. You know, so I somehow I believe that would have to be a question that would have to be revealed. I don't know. Maybe that should have been revealed when y'all had y'all conversation this past weekend. I'm pretty sure some of them probably had talked to some cops and would know.
Exactly. Captain, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning? Captain, you there?
Yeah, good morning. How you doing?
Hey, doing good, sir. Yeah. I'm asking the question, and we're talking about the situation that happened in Akron with Jayland Walker, and you know the situation where you know they said he was running, he was trying to get away or whatever. Say he was shooting. It's come out that you know there was fireworks going off, and so I don't know how they tied those two together, but to say he was shooting at the police. He got out, he ran. They bombarded his body. They drenched his body with at least 60 bullet wounds. He lay on the ground dead. They rolled him over and put handcuffs on his dead body. My question is Captain, why put handcuffs on a dead man?
Well, this morning about 11 o'clock, I'm taking myself and about 10 peacekeepers. We're going to Akron today. I'm about an hour and 45 minutes from Akron, Ohio, from Columbus. And we're going today, then we're going to the funeral tomorrow. I chose to participate because no matter what he did, he didn't deserve to die that way, period. And there's many rumors. Tonight, I will be attending 2 town hall meetings where I really would get a lot of the actual facts. The police chief there released a statement because his officers are being threatened going by the house, and he's trying to appeal to the community that these particular officers, they had nothing to do with it, but the people are just tired. As far as why they have handcuffs on a dead body, I couldn't answer that question. It just don't make sense to me. But I'm sure they have in their mind, they have a justified reason. I'm sure they do. It's probably most likely policy, policy. Like the dead man gonna get up and run again. I don't know. But I do know that they leave a lot of room for doubt and suspicion because they said He shot at the police, and to this day, they have not matched the bullet,
Mm-hmm.
the shell casings, or the gun. It's kind of strange, Brother Raheem, because I think those of us from the hood knows that one thing, you don't leave a gun behind is evidence. So that was strange.
Yeah. Yeah.
Second, it was started off, it was in the front seat, back seat. Now the gun's up in the front seat. So I guess the gun got up and said, let me get in the front seat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we know back in the day when they used to shoot us down, they would always have a throwaway gun.
Exactly.
Next beside the body. We already know that. So how do you justify man shooting at him 90 times and hitting him 60 times? How do you justify? He got no weapon. He's running away from you. He's of no threat. And then you said you seen a gun. He shot at him, but you can't prove it. So it ain't a bad situation, but I cannot tell you why they put handcuffs on a dead man. I mean, it don't make sense, but I'm sure it's policy.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Goddess, what's on your heart, sis? Why put handcuffs on a dead man?
I just started to try to look it up, and I think it's a symbolical thing as well. But they're trying to, if you put handcuffs on somebody and it's visualized, they're saying, "Hey, we did capture our criminal," and it decriminalizes that individual. So if there is some justice, it automatically mentally decriminalizes anybody who's watched or anybody who's seen it. So it criminalizes that person. And it might be a departmental thing where they have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's all the same. It's basically what I've been looking at and kind of reading up to, because a lot of people are kind of upset behind that.
Mm-hmm. But my thing is, pause your time because you got some more time left. But my thing is this right here. I actually worked in law enforcement as well, and one of the reasons why you put the handcuffs on to eliminate the possibility of that person getting away, or to limit their possibility of fleeing. If a man has been shot 60 times, laying on the ground dead, where is he going? I mean, I don't think where he's going has nothing to do with any of this earthly thing. He's either going at that point to heaven or hell, and so you can't stop that. He's going, and so why the handcuffs is.
Think about this, Raheem.
Mm-hmm.
Putting handcuffs on the man and you ain't even gonna book him. He going straight to the morgue.
Exactly. He
ain't getting a mug shot or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
If you prop him up with that mug shot and he got them bullets in his face, he lied up to the side like that, then it'd be different. You got your man. But yeah, she said it. Like I said, it's symbolism, man. You can look at this person as a criminal and say, yeah, they got the bad guy. He's dead.
Wow. Let me go back to Goddess because she got some more time left. Goddess, you got a little over 2 more minutes left. You want to take that time up? You want to pass it on?
I just wanted to say, I mean, that's what it is. It's just it's symbolism to for everybody else to look at it and be like, oh my God, he must have been a criminal. He was wrong. You know what I'm saying? So it's something that plays a part in our mind when we see that.
Wow.
So that's what they're doing. It's the symbolic. I'm done.
Good deal. Brother Hicks, talk to me, brother. What's on your heart?
Yeah, they have a term called PSYOPs and psychological deterrent. I think when that other incident, when the guy had his knee on the guy's neck and everybody standing around, it's the psychological deterrent that just the men standing around with guns that psychologically deter you from doing what you might want to do. I think you should do. I think even cutting the fingers and parts of lynched people was all psychological deterrent to intimidate poor folks, the people, because there's no way a police force or anyone can hold back the energy of a galvanized people that it's without fear. You know, I was thinking about that thing we talk about courage. Courage, I found, is a spontaneous thing. It's a thing that comes from inside somewhere. It comes through you to make you do the unbelievable things that you wouldn't even consider doing. It's not.
Yes.
It's not like you can plan these things. The situation reveal what's inside of you. I think that in that incident, if one person would have ran at those policemen that had that thing, the whole crowd would react. Oftentimes, we wait for someone to be a leader. History has shown that Toussaint Louverture and the Haitian Revolution, Dessalines, going all the way back to Greek, there always had to be someone to spark, to be that spark that set off the fire.
That's good. That's good.
But it's psychological deterrence. People in fear.
Wow. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother? Why put handcuffs on a dead man?
I'm also in line with Captain Dennis. You know, I don't know. Like you said, one under arrest, you have to be under arrest. Some people want to put people in handcuffs to symbolize, hey, we didn't believe we killed them. Maybe it's that crazy to believe that, you know, we just in case, like Captain Dennis may have said, just in case, or for whatever reason they do it. Maybe Bishop can come on, but ask a police officer.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go on and on about it, you know, because I could think of anything. I could make up something. You know, so for whatever reason they do what they do, like I say, if you see a lion kill something, you're gonna tell him how to eat it?
No.
No, not at all. So one, I would prefer it come from the horse's mouth.
That's good. That's good.
You know what though? You still have the logic of a sentient being, because that lion that can speak and put his knee on your neck and put them cuffs on you could lie. It ain't like he could actually come out and tell you the truth and say, you know what, we did it to symbolize that when we kill black people, we just want to embarrass them. What cop gonna tell you that? So psychologically, you still have to think about the impact of doing something that makes no logic or no sense at all, and how it affects the person that views that. And then you'll understand why another person will do something out of the way like that. Psychological influence is to influence your mentality on what they did, and to influence the way you feel about what they did. And then it also has to be something personal within them, something individual. It might be policy. Then you would still have to ask, well, what's the purpose behind that policy? That's with anything we do. You know, I just actually feel like, you know, when you ask a policeman this, it would take somebody that's going to be honest to tell the truth. Why? But most likely you're not going to get the logical truth. They're going to give you the written answer. Well, we have to secure the scene. It's procedure. But how many times we've seen people take the swastika and then make it mean something else, or take this little sign right here. Remember this sign right here? Oh, it don't mean the good old boys. It don't mean nothing racist, but they still do it. That they ain't going to admit that it's racist. So you have to look psychologically and say, you know what? Why do these group of individuals continue to keep doing this certain thing to these certain people at these certain times? And then you go and look at the background and you can say, you know what, man, that means something. And if I ask them and they they might tell me something different, but it's obvious that that can't be true because that doesn't add up.
Exactly. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Asking the question, why put handcuffs on a dead man? A man that's been shot 60 times, bullets has entered his body 60 times. He's laying on the ground dead. Just shot him all over. 60 times. He's laying on the ground, obviously dead. You roll him over and put handcuffs on him. What is the purpose? What is the absolute purpose behind that? Now, Captain, we're talking about why put handcuffs on a dead man is our topic, but we also want to talk about everything that led up to that, because that's the end point of the conversation. What is it that led up to this whole point, or this man being treated or mistreated in that way?
Well, I got some brothers that's going down with me that's absolutely from Akron.
Mm-hmm.
and they telling me that the police department is so corrupt there that this is not just the first time. Well, this is the
Wow.
first time that they did such a horrific mutilation of this citizen. But the young boys has been targeted. Akron, Ohio is a very depressed city, man. I mean, the condition of the young people, the people there is really bad. They got no jobs, they got nothing. So gang banging and the biggest trade is drugs, dope. That's the biggest income for them youngins. And there's a lot of black on black homicide in
Mm-hmm.
Akron. So we can't, what led up to it is a mindset that either he was trying to get away, he may have been targeted because of he may have been involved in the drug trade, and these particular officers, here did Jalen again, get him, and
Mm-hmm.
this may be
Mm-hmm.
certain officers who've been abusive towards him. It could be a variable. It could be many things, but I know that number one, I'm hoping that when the cameras leave, the news people leave, I have took it up on myself to go back into Akron and to help do all I can to get these young men a better way of life. So, because it's just up the street, and Ohio is the only state in the union that has most of the cities that's in the state of Ohio are predominantly black
Mm-hmm.
cities. And so Ohio, and I'm from Columbus, I love Ohio, but it's down like four flat tires.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is a great opportunity for me to go back into Akron, do an all men's only meeting, and try to get these young men a better way of life. Unless we be right at this thing next year, same
Mm-hmm.
time, same station. But I think it's the condition that led up to it. And I think the young man was targeted by certain police officers that sent him running. And I mean that's the only thing I could think of. But the people from Akron tell me, he said it's bad, Cap. It's really, really, really bad in Akron. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm going to take this opportunity to do all I can to try to change the quality of life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm gonna say it for you, for the people that may not be able to say it for themselves. Thank you. Thank you. Because there's a need there, and you're addressing a need, and you're doing the work, going where it needs to be, and you're making I think you're making a difference. So I want to say to you, thank you. Thank you. Let me go to Badger. Badger, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Badger, we're asking a question, and I don't know if you've been watching the news about this, but the guy in Akron, Ohio, Jalen Walker, was actually chased by the police. They say that he was shooting. It's come out that there was fireworks going on at that particular time. They say he was shooting. They shot this man when he was running, and it's hard to talk about it, man. Really shot this man. The bullets hit into his 60 bullets entered his body. I think they shot him about 90 sometimes, or a little more, but 60 bullets entered his body. He lay on the ground, face down, I mean, on his back, if you will. They turned him over and put handcuffs on the dead body. Badger, I'm asking a question, brother. Why put handcuffs on a dead man?
That makes no sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. There's no logic in that, in my opinion, unless they
Mm-hmm.
think he's like gonna raise up from the dead,
Mm-hmm.
which
Mm.
is stupid as these police officers sound. It wouldn't surprise me if they thought that.
Wow. Wow.
Um, I just th- there to me there are times where certain police officers, and I'm not talking about all of them,
Mm-hmm.
definitely show signs of they do not need to be in the police force.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just, I don't know why someone would think, you know, if you shoot somebody that many times, why in the world, what's the point?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. I brother, I asked that same question. I asked that very same question, man. 60 bullets into this man's body. He's dead.
60 wounds.
Hmm? What you say about you?
60 wounds
Yeah,
in his
exactly.
body.
Exactly. Curtis, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Morning right here. What's up, folks, family?
Hey, what's going on with you, Captain? We asking a question, and you heard my description a second ago. Why put handcuffs on a dead man, Curtis?
Because at this point, Nate Cap.
You kind of low, Curtis. Say they can't hear you.
I said because at this point, I think Cap has the best explanation for what is going on, and it has everything to do with the culture of the police department. I hate to say it, but I'm sorry, I'm gonna stand on it, man. It is time for us to reevaluate the union's contract and remove the clause. It's just time, man. This is not a world where you have this is not a time in a world where you have a larger number of people who govern themselves according to morals, values, and standards. We are living in a time where the moral corruption is out of control.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate terms of the police department because I'm like Cap, I have really good friends who are members of the police department that I know are really good dudes.
Mm-hmm.
And but Cap he says it all the time, man. You got these young rookies coming in who really have plans on being good police, you know, doing right for the community that they serve. But then you have these old ways that set into the police force that says we can do whatever we want to do. When you think about how the police was established, I mean, shoot, man, they was kidnapping slaves that was free, that was born free men. They was kidnapping them and taking them back down south. Sojourner Douglas, Sojourner Douglas. You know, Sojourner. That's what she fought for, so she could get her son back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what's the guy name on 12 Years a Slave?
Mm-hmm.
We forget his name, but he was another one that, you know, and those are just stories that was reported. You know, you got a culture of people who honestly and truly, y'all gotta forgive me, man. I'm in a lot of pain this morning. Who honestly and truly do not believe that Black lives have any value.
Mm-hmm.
And it's shameful. Like, it's shameful. I don't know what else we need to do in this country. I really don't, man. We don't do everything tenfold with the odds against us, and we still can't get the minimal respect, man. Like, I don't know what else we need to do.
Wow. And that's a heck of a question, brother. That's a heck of a question. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
All right, man.
Tucson, I gotta ask you the question, man. If a man has been shot 60 times, laying on the ground dead, why would you turn his dead body over to put handcuffs on him? Why put handcuffs on a dead man, Tucson?
I don't know. It just seems like to add to the humiliation that you want to cause on a person. How many times does it take to kill a person? How many shots does it take?
One.
To kill a person?
One.
You train, right?
Mm-hmm.
You train. These are not people that, you know, how we see them shooting on TV sideways.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you got trained officers. Trained, really. Supposed to be, anyway.
Yeah.
I know they're scared. But you mean to tell me that you can't kill a man with one shot? If you have to kill him. The first thing about it is you don't have to kill him. Because you see people that kill 10, 12, 9, 8, whatever it is, whole bunch of people. And you bring them into custody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you do it. You're trained to do that. You can bring them in. Curtis said something about the original state of for police officers, police to bring them in and capture them, bring them back in. And I'm just confused because you can wound a person and stop them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
From either running away or attacking you. You can.
Mm-hmm.
So if you train to bring them in, supposed to apprehend them, you can apprehend them.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have standoffs and they bring people in.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
You wait till they run out of bullets if you have to, because you got more bullets than them.
Mm-hmm.
But then you make a choice not to apprehend them, but to stop them. So you don't wound them to stop them. You kill them.
Mm-hmm.
It takes one shot.
One shot. Exactly.
But you kill them over and over and over again. Then to add to it, you handcuff the dead body.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Doesn't make sense, does it? Doesn't make sense.
I'm trying to make sense of it.
Mm-hmm. And if anybody out there that's listening to the sound of our voice, we got quite a few people that's listening this morning, and I definitely appreciate each and every one of you. Call in and explain to me. Help me understand. Because I'm missing something here. There's a couple of pieces of the puzzle that obviously I'm missing. Why would you put handcuffs on a man that's been shot over 60 times, shot at 90 times, hit 60 times, a minimum of 60 times? He's laying on the ground. He's dead, lifeless. Why would you put handcuffs on him? 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Rico, is it a thing like it's been a voice of humiliation, more way of humiliating, or you trying to send a message? Why put handcuffs on a dead body?
That's exactly what it is. I mean, I put it in chat, and then Donald came right in and said it himself. You know what I'm saying? I put it up, the humiliation of the enemy. It's the mindset of people when they are at war. And sometimes the good guys consider themselves at war with the bad guys. So I'm going to throw the people that might be saying that they go with that slave thing. They're trying to find a way to throw slavery in there. Well, I'm going to go back to the Wild Wild West. I can remember seeing photos of people catching Billy the Kid and all these different people, and they would put the silver dollars in their eyes.
Yeah.
It was symbolic or something. Or they would always pose with the victim, whether they were dead or alive, to show that they got their guy. Sometimes they posed with the dead bodies, and they were doing it as an act of humiliation. And it was also pretty much, I would want to say, a celebration. You know, it was so many different things that it meant when they did that. So you look at today's time, you know, things evolve.
Mm-hmm.
But some people still have that same clique mindset. And when they get in that mindset, they start coming up with little different things that they share amongst themselves. So now, because think about it, if we didn't have this law that allowed body cams, they probably would have still did that.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, that's letting you know that it's something deeper than just, neutralizing the suspect. He was beyond neutralized. So I saw Badger put in the private chat that they apparently found a pulse. Well, that would have been life-saving procedures.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't have meant handcuffing them. But see, we've seen instances where they've also shot them up like that, put them in handcuffs, and they were still alive. They had a chance to save their life, but they died right there on the spot because they didn't get life-saving procedures.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still another form of humiliation. It was the same form of humiliation that Derek Chauvin did to George Floyd. He just went overboard.
Yeah.
But that's what happened when you become a gung-ho cop that doesn't know how to handle their authority the right way, or you don't deserve to be in the position that you're in. But yeah, it's definitely a humiliation tactic. And that's what happens, if you notice when going back to slavery, when they were lynching black people, melanated people, think about the things they did. Y'all ever seen that movie Deliverance?
Yes, I seen part of it. Mm-hmm.
Well, you seen what they did to humiliate Burt Reynolds' friend? Squeal like a pig.
Yeah.
Wee!
Mm-hmm.
What's the purpose of that? Why you rape that man?
Exactly.
It was something symbolic of domination.
Mm.
And we got our man. He was wanted. And we got him, y'all, dead or alive. But don't ask no questions. Just know when we slapped them cuffs on him, mission was accomplished.
Exactly. Yeah. Wow. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Leonard, are you there? Are you there, Leonard?
Yes.
Read out this public citizen or Paul. This is Paul's comment.
Overtrained and underbrained, it's standard operating procedures. Some police departments discriminate against recruits with test scores too high.
Any comments on that?
No.
Okay. Wow. What's on your heart, brother?
Like I said, you could come up with 1,000 reasons.
Mm-hmm.
That's why going in that direction is futile. It accomplishes nothing. So what the focus should be, everybody's about, it's a shame, it's a shame. Is it a big enough shame for you to go down there and make sure that those police officers are removed? Is it that big of a shame? Is you that heartfelt about it that you're going to tell the mayor that you won't vote for the mayor unless he changes the police chief and the management of that police department? What are you going to do?
Mm-hmm. What's next?
Yeah, what's next?
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to do something next. What are you going to choose to do next? That's where the power is. And how you deal with the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Some people's whole thing, now I'm finna go down there and burn something up. Okay. That's the choice that person would make. A lot of times, like say, for instance, I've learned I'm not usually in places where there are, I don't plan hostility.
Mm-hmm.
I go in peace. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
When I meet and I greet anybody, I greet them in peace. And it can stay that way unless you change it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect rotten, wicked people to do good things. I never have. So what are you doing? Like, I love Captain Dennis and soldiers like him. He's going to make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to make a difference.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But is that going to stop wicked people all over this country, all over this world? No.
Mm-hmm.
Pick something to fix. Not destroy, make worse. Pick something to fix.
And see, the thing about it, and I don't know why this came to my mind, why you're saying that, but if I'm going to a apple tree and I want to pick me some apples. I have to pick one apple at a time. I have to pick one apple at a time. And I say that to say this. We have to, everybody can have their own fight, but you have to pick one fight at a time. And so you say, would it cure all this and all that? No, maybe not. But we can pick one of them off the tree at a time until when we look back at that tree over a period of time, there's no more apples there.
Right.
The
And
tree
you
has
know,
been cleansed.
the whole sentiment, you can't not say nothing
Mm-hmm.
and then expect me to believe that you against it.
Mm-hmm.
So all of you know, it ain't everybody, it ain't this, but it's hard to find a whole group of white folks doing the right thing
Mm-hmm.
in government, in any city, in this country. That's why we have to diversify. That's why we got to get other faces in there that look different.
Mm-hmm.
Because see, when they all get together, you can't tell.
Exactly. Let me go to Brother Hicks. Brother Hicks, what's on your heart?
Oh, well, I was reflecting that thing that Leonard said, and it's and I ran across that one time researching this area, and that most police departments have these aptitude tests, personality traits, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They actually hire people that have that capability, lacking that degree of empathy, and they're operating out of fear. And they're trained that way. They're trained to stay alive, not to serve, not to do. Bottom line is to go home every night. They'll say it. So I think they sort of select the people, and it's almost like, I don't know. This is gonna be a little controversial.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I think sometimes I look around at people and how they act in the world, and I think there's some people walking around that are human, right? And there are other people that looking like humans, but somehow, some kind of way they aren't.
Yeah.
They're not.
I've been thinking that way for years, brother. I might be just as crazy as a bat, but I've been thinking that way
I'm
for.
glad I don't feel like I'm by myself now.
Mhm.
We all know I'm certified back crazy.
I think that it goes to a spiritual thing in terms of this.
Mhm.
It's there.
Something happened to
we're
your
in a fallen-
something happened to your volume, brother Hicks. Something happened to your volume,
I'm
brother.
sorry. Me?
Brother
Is that
Hicks,
better?
go ahead. We can hear you.
Yes, sir. Okay. I was thinking about it in terms of spiritual thing, that we're all fallen until we're redeemed. We have this element inside of us that make us capable of all kind of madness.
Mm-hmm.
And so in terms of, and I think when you're in that fallen state of it, the psychologists they break it down in a lot of other ways, but they really talk about the same element, this sin element, this thing that is inside, the reptilian mind or whatever, this thing that's inside of us that reacts automatic.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that without that ability to really feel the connection of you with everyone else, that what you do to someone else, you're actually doing to yourself. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I shouldn't be talking about this on there because I haven't figured it out. But I know this here. There are people on the planet that are pure evil. They
Yeah.
look like us and they're not us.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some that are just human beings.
Mm-hmm. They walk, they talk,
And that's
they eat.
about it.
They walk, they talk, they
Yeah.
eat, they drink, they do everything just like us, but they're not of us. They're not the
That's-
same. Yeah.
Yes.
I've been feeling it, man. Look here. And y'all talk about from the time y'all was a little boy, man. I've been feeling that same way since I was a little boy. I could think back in my mind way on back to, man. Man, even in elementary school, I used to look at, man, hold on. Something different about that one. Something ain't right.
Yeah.
Something ain't right. And
Yeah.
so you change the whole course of the conversation, brother, because I could go deep into that one. Let me
I'm
go.
sorry.
Hey, we're gonna mess around. Y'all keep on talking. We're gonna be talking about that Webb telescope yesterday and all the millions of galaxies it showed, man. We're gonna get deep
Exactly.
in this thing.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
And so there's so many different layers, man. I really believe that, man. Let me go to Godless because like I say, man, I'm gonna leave that one alone. That's maybe that's for tomorrow. Maybe that's a conversation for tomorrow.
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
But God is what's on your heart.
my thought process basically is that we forget, and I think again it goes all the way back to slavery.
Mm-hmm.
How they did whatever they did to scare us, and keep us docile.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're not, and you know, the slave owners, what was they doing? How to make a Negro a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
People fail to realize that was an actual real book,
Mm-hmm.
and it was written during slavery. But he made that book so we basically would say, well, you know, we're not going to fight back. We're, you know, because of God, we're godly folks, and we're not going to fight back. And you know, that he made that book. I believe. Let me look it up. I think his name was Dr. Charles Reverend. He was a reverend.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Charles Colcock Jones. He was a major slave owner that owned 3 plantations. And he developed a system to make slaves more submissive and easier to control by converting them to Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
Over time, his methods proved higher and successful and became standard operating procedures for most slave owners. So that means he beat you, he did all that to make you become. A lot of people don't know that Christianity has a whole lot of remnants behind it. And the reason why we act and why we do what we do. We don't fight back. We become just complacent. We don't speak up like we should. We should be, when the FOP, that's one thing Leonard brought up. I believe it was Leonard. Because this ain't the first person that's been killed.
Mm-hmm.
I think Leonard and them fought a case with Jamarion. Am I right,
Yeah.
Leonard? What was that?
Yeah.
He got shot 76 times.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't no first case.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe personally that the FOP, like we went down and tried to sit down regarding the contracts and try to work with them regarding the contracts with the FOP. But this is something that they have developed through each state by state. The FOP meet together. And they know what they're going to do. And most of the, like our Brad Lemon here, it doesn't matter how many times we change the police chief, how many times we do whatever. Because if the head of the FOP is racist, that's how your police department is going to react.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Captain, to put handcuffs, and we talk about why put handcuffs on a dead man, is that board, is that a product of hate, or is it a product of just you're just that afraid of this individual that's laying there, even in a dead state, you're still afraid of him?
Well, let me say this, man. We could keep going over it again. I train law enforcement, and I guess y'all really don't know I really train law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very cynical agency. It has its origin and its beginning in catching runaway slave. That's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
That's its origin. It started in Boston. Now, what is the mindset? The police culture, as I've learned, is a culture that breeds murderers. It breeds them. Why?
Wow.
Because they're there to protect the certain person. Said they're there to go home. And that means if you don't go home, I go home.
Captain,
one of us is going to go home.
Captain, let me step in one second. I'm stopping your time because I want to ask you this question. Does that actually put in place an us against them attitude and mentality? I'm starting your time back up.
Oh, it's always been them versus us. The sad thing that I want to share with this radio audience audience is that there are great men and women who are good people in law enforcement. The majority,
Yes.
the majority.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But
Yes.
them is not the ones that gets the news. The one gets the news is that small percentage that control the majority. It's the
Mm-hmm.
same way in the black community. If the picture is painted towards white people, you would think everybody in the black community are criminals.
Mm-hmm.
But if you allow a small percentage dominate the news, and that small percentage that dominate the news is negative, and the good ones don't say nothing, then you draw the conclusion all of them is criminals.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same way how people look at law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need, you don't hear the law enforcement come against. Ain't no law enforcement standing up against these officers. Now I want y'all to look at this. I don't know too much about guns, but somebody tell me how many bullets are in a clip of these officers that pretty much carry a Glock. Anyone knows how many bullets is in the clip?
What is it? 12 and one in that chamber? I'm
Some
guessing.
the clip.
I thought the 12 shot and 15 shot was outlawed. So I thought it was 9, but I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I know the 12 shot, 15 shot clip. There was laws written against those because, like here in the state of Maryland, you can't have a 15 shot. You can't have
But
a
I'm,
15 shot clip.
but the law
I
enforcement,
don't know what they're looking at now.
the law enforcement. The reason why I asked that question, if it's 16, if it's 15 times that, times 8 officers.
Mm.
What is 15 times 8? So that got to show
15
you.
times 8.
Mm-hmm.
15
See?
times 8 is 90.
That go to show everybody empty that clip.
Mm-hmm.
It was 8 officers.
Thanks.
They
Wow.
emptied their
I
clip.
know that's 120. My bad, Cap. That's 120, I think.
They
Yeah,
emptied their clip.
Mm-hmm.
And the bottom line is, in that culture, and I want to say this, it's called hypervigilance. It's they operate under fear or fight or flight. That's what it's called,
Mm-hmm.
hypervigilance. These officers, the new ones, the rookie cops, we give them a training. Let me say this. They go to academy and they get updated training. And they really get a lot of people skills training. And they got a new training they put in the academy, which is dealing with mental health.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what happened? That new rookie cops, they get out of that training, they're excited. They want to go into the community because most of these new rookie cops, they have been integrated. Some of them is interracially married. They know how to deal with blacks. They come with a different attitude. But you know what happened? You put them in the car, what they call an FTO, field training officer, or 9 times out of time, they call him Old Sarge. And as
Mm-hmm.
soon as that rookie cop get in that car, that's Old Sarge, the old dude, tells that rookie cop, wipe that damn smile off your face.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get somebody killed with that smile. And everything you learn in the academy, throw that in the back seat, because that ain't the way we do it here.
Mm-hmm.
So everything of the citizens, you, me, taxpayers that paid for this great training, is relegated by some sergeant who don't want to change, and then he goes and he corrupts the new rookie cop, and after 6 months, Raheem, that rookie cop is sounding like that old Sarge. Yeah, them a-holes. Yeah, we caught him today. Look like you
Yep.
caught a deer.
Mm-hmm.
So we lose because that culture is a culture that don't want to change. It has to be totally destroyed.
Yeah.
Because you're going to keep producing that kind of mindset. And it's the same kind of culture. We got a culture of violence, and we got to destroy in the black community that culture of violence. Because if we don't destroy that culture of violence, we'll be doing the same thing they doing. They on one level, we on another. Thank you.
Absolutely. Wow. revolving door. Revolving doors, man, and they could be deadly. They absolutely be deadly. Badger, what's on your heart?
Teachings and illusions, something I mention quite often. I was talking to Captain Dennis the other day, and he was telling me about a lot of this stuff, and it's just one of those things of when are we going to break the cycle?
Mm-hmm.
Who's got the willpower to break it?
Can we?
I think as individuals we can, and it's us as the individuals that are responsible to the other people to do our best to show them that there is another way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's anything is possible, but being I think a word you could use is placent.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna solve a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's one of the reasons I love the Morning Glow is we might talk about a lot of stuff, but we also mention solutions and different ways to look at things to hopefully, if at all, at least get one person to start looking at things differently.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's got to start somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So our streets are, there's this one guy that stops by my house every so often when he sees me outside, and I just plant seeds. He's on that interesting road.
Mm-hmm.
He's been arrested a few times and all that stuff because he is doing those kinds of things. And I just keep telling him, I'm like, why are you upsetting your grandma and your grandpa? I'm like, they don't like what you're doing. Why don't you go find an honest job?
Mm-hmm.
And he's just, I don't know, man. Well, like I keep telling you, you're going to keep having issues until you find something honest.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So it's just, and sometimes that's the best we can do.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, they choose to continue going down the same old road, no matter how many different people tell them.
Mm-hmm. That's true. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Ibrahim, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing okay.
Okay.
I hear y'all talking about them guns. I answer to your clip. They come in 9, 12, 15 rounds, 32 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Police officers are allowed to use excessive force. And they don't use the regular 9mm caliber. They use 40 caliber and up.
Mm-hmm.
And also the ammunition they use is 147 on a 9mm, which is like the average 9mm carries 121 grams.
Mm-hmm.
147 is police and up. Same thing with shotguns. They have more grains in their ammunition. So it's more the ammunition than it is also the type of caliber of gun.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah, they're allowed to have military style weapons.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Absolutely. Now we're asking a question, and we're talking about the young man in Akron, Jalen Walker, and
right, Jalen.
He was shot. 60 bullets went into his body. He laid on the ground, and they turned him over. His dead body on the ground. They turned him over, put handcuffs on it. Ibrahim, I'm asking the question: why put handcuffs on a dead man?
Well, they did the same thing here in Atlanta. They did it to actually cover their butts. Say retain him. Say like he had a weapon. He was a threat. They continued the threat. They didn't know he was dead or not. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, so that's pretty much what they be saying. That's why they be doing stuff like that. They did the same thing to a guy named Robinson. If you remember, it's been about 4 years ago. Police, they shot him 76 times. Shot his balls off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And here in Atlanta. And they're just going to court. Pretty soon they'll be going to court. And y'all pray for the family.
Mm-hmm.
But same thing. Well, see, what happens is, like those officers, I thought there were 6 officers. It might have been 8. But they fired over 90 bullets, 60 hits, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't much left for that boy with that type of ammunition they were using, 9mm up. You know, they put holes in it coming out the back. They especially use those things called hollow points,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
The hole coming in about big as half a dollar. The hole going out is about the size of about the size of a hubcap.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So wasn't much left for him. You know, so all that was just for show, the handcuffs and everything. I mean, like they were concerned about something, that he might still be alive or something, or he might still be a danger or a threat, or maybe you say policy. You know what I mean? But that boy, wasn't nothing left for that boy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I
Exactly.
got up there show pictures of the actual scene when the boy was after he was shot to pieces.
Mm.
You know, but that's
Wow.
a horrible scene. You know, they policy don't even go for that, because even the chief said they policy don't go for that. Right? It's supposed to be a designated shooter. You know, California does that now. That makes more sense than anything. That you'd have a designated shooter to do the shooting, to do
Mm-hmm.
the actual shooting, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that way it goes an overkill. One bullet could have tore that boy in half.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I mean, it's just not. I think we got to start talking about the 21st century policing that Obama and Cedric Alexander, that was chief of police in DeKalb County, and here in Atlanta, came up with, and a few other police chiefs. You know, there's a way of policing and community policing, and we also had to police ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had to have a higher standard of people in our community and what we consider as okay in our community.
Good deal. Stay right there, brother. Stay
So-
right there. Stay right there. We got to keep this thing moving. Rico, what's on your heart, brother? How much hate does it take for one individual to do something like that to another individual and shoot somebody 60 times? Shoot at them 90, but hit them 60 times. How much hate does it take for a person to have in them to do something like that?
It could take a lot of adrenaline. You know,
Mhm.
when you get worked out. You know what, man? Some people have to listen to violent music to work out.
Mm.
I know save people to listen to Lil Baby and Lil Jon
Mm-hmm.
to work out.
Yeah.
Cuss words and all.
Mm-hmm.
In the name of the Lord, let me get this workout on.
Mm-hmm.
Throw your hood up. It
Mm.
gets your adrenaline going. And you need that adrenaline to do your job sometime. I mean, and so in the heat of the moment, you remember yesterday we was talking about courage and how people act under pressure, or in the heat of the moment. You just think, you don't really think, you just act.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you have been trained to be hyper vigilant, or you in an environment where you have gung-ho cops that have influenced an environment where everybody started feeling cocky and they got this adrenaline thing going, and now they want to get a little rougher. Maybe they started training and fighting MMA or something, or maybe they got bigger guns. Maybe they going gun crazy. Maybe they play Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to go in the military, but they couldn't. Maybe they came out of the military and they still missed that lifestyle. So, you know, that environment, man, it really doesn't take a whole lot of hate. It could just take the atmosphere and the adrenaline of the situation that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Wow.
it wasn't just one cop.
Mm-hmm.
It was numerous cops. So it might be, they may have an environment going on. You know, they had the gangs in California. I ain't talking about the street gangs. I'm talking about the gangs that was in the
Yeah.
cops.
Absolutely.
They was
Mhm.
collecting bodies. They was killing people, raping and robbing people. It
Mhm.
wasn't just one cop. It was a band of thieves with badges.
Mm-hmm.
So it really doesn't take hate. You know, it could just take the atmosphere and the influence and the persuasion. You know, I sort of, you know, I'm thinking about this thing with the handcuffs, and that is the procedure that they have to subdue the suspect and to make sure that the suspect isn't a threat. That is the procedure to always put the cuffs on them, white or black. You know, even though we know that as many times as Jamarian was shot and Jalen was shot, it probably didn't warrant cuffs. But when you going by procedure and what the book says,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you got to do it. So that's the reason why that should be reformed. That is the reason why people should vote. Going back earlier to what we was talking about people being in position. You know, this system and this judicial system and government that we live in, if the right people were in position and the right people did their jobs,
Mm-hmm.
then we wouldn't have to say, is this system two-sided or is it racist? If people
Yeah.
actually took the opportunity to do what they were supposed to do in their title. So we have to make sure we participate and vote and put people in so we could have reforms on excessive shooters, on people being handcuffed after being shot that many times because he was not a threat anymore.
Exactly.
You know,
Was not
he was
not
not
at
a
all.
threat anymore. But you know, that's still something that at the heat of the moment they still would have to do that. And actually, if you listen to other cops, they'll tell you that if anything, they were surprised that they didn't handcuff him because that is part of the procedure. So, you know, we may get mad and say, well, was that intentional? Was that hate? Was that humiliation? Well, maybe the program or the training was set up for subconscious humiliation, but at the same time, that is their training to do that. So, you know, we might be beating on that bush about it being humiliation and this and that, and not realizing that this is just what they're trained to do and they're doing the job.
But see, I can go with that. I can certainly go with that as well, and that makes a lot of sense to me. But Leonard, my thing is this right here. At what point do you pick procedure up, and what point do you put procedure down? Because to shoot somebody that many times, certainly that's not procedure. To shoot somebody, to have 60 bullets to go into their body, knowing what one bullet, like we said earlier, what one bullet could do. Leonard, what's on your heart?
Well, first of all, I like that Ibrahim brought up usually what I talk about and have community conferences about. And when I go to sheriffs and things of that nature, is that 21st century community policing. Because one of the responses to this type of event was there should be a designated shooter.
Yeah.
That's you know, that's what there should be. However, when people talk about, you know, like the way you asked the question, there ain't no law against it. Police chiefs ain't told them not to do it. So why you think they would do it? Why you think that they would resist? Why? Most people become police officers to be the law, not necessarily enforce it. I sat on the board of a college, criminal justice. One of the biggest problems in getting people with these criminal justice degrees and things like that, when they go to get these police jobs, they got just as much domestic violence, DUIs, and everything else. Your law act as if your police are stable people. They're not. There's nothing preventing them from joining your police forces.
Wow.
You have nothing in place to block crazy people from becoming police officers. A lot of people don't realize that. You got a guy that probably has murder in his heart. Can't wait to get old enough to get on the police force. Can't wait till his opportunity to kill another man. And then you have the people that same old tired excuse. I'm just trying to get home. That's what everybody trying to do. What make you so special? You're supposed to be the person that come in and de-escalate a situation, not escalate a situation. So whenever you escalate a situation, you're on the wrong side. And your sergeant and everybody should be checking you on this. What sense of, like we say, for instance, you work in corporate America, people working in corporate America know the discipline policy, right? Now imagine a discipline policy for a police force. Should that look a little different?
It should.
It really should, shouldn't it? Oh, I'm sorry. I ain't killed but one person. Okay, go back to work. We give you a warning this time. Oh, now we give you a couple of days off work.
Paid.
But two people dead.
Yeah. Paid vacation.
How is that helping the community? As far as I'm concerned, you should be damn near perfect. Not one blemish on your record. You should be able to pass all types of acuity tests to do your job. And then you should take an oath and have a commitment still. Just like we have more scrutiny on teachers than we have on police officers. Oh, I saw the teacher at the bar drinking. That kind of behavior is unbecoming of someone to teach. So now you don't fire them simply because they was out enjoying themselves. But you'll let a police officer commit all types of atrocities. Look at them personnel records.
Exactly.
When was the last time this officer actually went to any type of training? We met one police chief says because of what was being offered by the state, he sends his officers to more training because the state minimum is so low. See, this is the thing about it. You got to focus on fixing what's broke, not making up in your head what you think would work.
Good deal. Good deal. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Man, you just came from it, man. You ain't got Donald or Curtis on. You want you to hit me too many times. Hicks or nobody on there.
Let me go to Curtis. Curtis, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
Talk to me.
So we just covered so many issues and solutions, and they all sound fantastic, man. You know, but I'm hearing everybody talk, and I keep playing back in my mind. I remember one time I stumbled over this white dude, this Caucasian brother, who was either former Klan or I can't remember if he was former Klan or still in the Klan. But his message was to black people and black and brown people, poor people, black, brown, and poor whites. And he was saying how, listen, y'all need to wake up and face the inconvenient truth. And they were saying how, you know, after the civil rights movement and, you know, the women's rights movement and people started pressing for rights, that, you know, the Klan members was kind of hurting. So they basically had came up with an idea that, look, make sure your kids graduate school, you know, teach them our ways, but with the present climate, we need to get them on the police forces. You know, so, you know, I think about what this guy was saying sometimes, man, and I look at what's going on, man. Like, let me ask a question, because I've been thinking about this thing for the last couple of weeks, right? You know, we hear these folk, right? If we paid attention over the last 10 years, there was a consistent and constant push to get unions out of business, to get unions. Like, there was a push over the last 20 years to prevent folks from unionizing, right? But when I pay attention to that, it's always a push in a specific area. Oh, we don't want no union over there. Oh, no, we don't want no union over here. Oh, no. But then in other areas, it's like breaking up the union don't even apply. So I think about where we at now, and I'm saying to myself, I don't mean no harm, man. I really don't. But I live in a city, man, where we just went through the treacherous 7. Really, it was 8. The 8th one was going to testify before the grand jury against the other 7. The day before he is due to testify at 7 a.m. that morning, he catches a slug in the back of his head, and they say he killed himself.
In the back of his head, Lord Jesus.
I'm telling you, the reports, all the reports say that there's no way in the world this man could have shot himself in the back of his head.
No.
At the trajectory that the bullet entered his head, it's impossible, right? You all done seen the advertisements because HBO did a special. It was called We Own the City. That really happened, man. That happened on my cousin's block. And it's like, how long are we going to allow? I just got to say this, and I get what Cap is saying. Cap is dead on point. There's some cops, man, that go and take that job because they want to do right by their communities. But then you got this old guard, man, that has got people scared. You know, I'm reminded of how many people seen the YouTube Soledad, I think it was Soledad O'Brien, where she had like 15 or 20 police, black and brown police officers, and she was interviewing them. It was like a town hall, and she was interviewing them, and they was talking about how they have been pressured, how they was being pressured to issue warrants, tickets, and citations.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, yo, I'm telling you, man, like the easiest way, I believe, to get to the root cause of the problem is to remove the union.
Wow.
Or to renegotiate
Wrap it up,
the
Curtis.
contract. It's just that simple.
Good deal. Good deal. Let me go to Toussaint. Toussaint, what's on your heart, brother?
I'm just listening to you know, this is old, and it's getting because, you know, when you join the police force, there's already a oath that they go by, and then when you get there, there's some that you know, they come in there with good intentions, and they just discredit everything they do till they either quit or move or something else. They know that is a hopeless situation, fighting against the chief and the mayor. Because the chief and the mayor ain't worth a nickel. I'm just saying. I mean, you know, this old mentality that don't want to go away.
So that ain't worth what now? That ain't worth what?
True, because worth a dead dog meat. Sure. I mean, really. I mean, I wouldn't. Let's say that. Yes, I can. No, I'm not. You know how people are on fire, and the only way you could put it out is you urinate on them. I wouldn't waste my time.
Wow.
Because this is old. This is old. I mean, really, it's obvious that there's a guilt here. It's evident, but over and over and over and over and over and over again, there's a crime being done. And if you want to find out what happened, you know, because you never get the full, you ask the person, why did it take 60 shots? Not 60. I know it took more, but at least bullet wounds, 60 wounds to contain this situation.
Exactly.
The only way to find out is ask the one or the ones that did the shooting. The only way to do that is bring them to trial. I'm trying to be kosher. But then, you know, the bad thing about it is because of the oath and the way that they operate is we don't tell on each other.
That's it.
And unfortunately, I'm gonna say this and I shut up. Unfortunately, it got to the point that there is no color behind it. The color is blue.
That's true. Leonard, read this. This is on Paul's comment.
Keep the union, but get rid of qualified immunity. If cops are paid less, are they going to do a better or worse job?
Comment.
Well, I believe that all work relationships should be governed by unions, unless people choose not to, and then you can be your own if you want. But unions are in place to protect workers. So the union that the police have, I think that's a different issue as it relates to that leadership perspective in law enforcement. You got to remember, there's a whole separate Black police association. Black law enforcement officers have a collective as well.
Yes.
So, you know, unions, I believe, benefit those people who work for other people. That's not a relationship between the people, you know, the people that we're supposed to be serving and protecting. That's labor and management relationship. So we always need that. However, when you're talking about leadership, that's different. Leadership and culture is different. So if you have a culture of bad policing and you keep those people in charge, that's all they're going to produce is bad policing.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, when you see, like, say, for instance, when you see it, more women police chiefs, for instance, we need more women. You know, you got some people who look at a woman. Think about officers are already have a certain character, some of them character trait. A lot of them ain't on board with female leadership.
Mm-hmm.
So there are internal issues within police departments that the public knows nothing about because it's an internal issue.
Mm-hmm.
Just like your work relationship at your job.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are things going on there that may not be going to other places. So that's the purpose of the unions.
Mm-hmm.
But when the union tries to influence certain cultures like this constant disrespect for human lives, and they do nothing about it, that's when the federal government needs to get involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the very simple fact that, one, you have people with certain authority, but you're not policing them well enough. That's why it's important. I don't care how black your mayor is. If the police chief is the leader of the Klan, that's the situation.
Mm-hmm. That's what you're up against.
That's what you up against.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So you have to, like I say, it's best to go and find the broken things and fix them.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of trying to infuse every possibility and notion that comes up in your head.
Wow.
Good policing has a great record.
Mm-hmm.
Period. You go look at their records, everything is in order. They don't have these incidents. And the community itself supports them. But then again, you have, because now, especially in people need to make a distinction. Because I keep hearing a lot of things for many years, is that the only reason we have police is because of slavery.
Mm-hmm.
Then they would be out of business. You know,
Wow.
you can't, some views make it hard to change.
I think a part of what they're saying is the origin of where it started.
The history of urban policing in Boston
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is what people usually are referencing.
Okay. Okay. Captain, what's on your heart?
Leonard said some very good things. Paul's chat.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all recognizing is that these guys that we miss now. There's disproportionate number of white that police in black communities.
Mm-hmm.
So they was trying to get black recruitment up.
Mm-hmm.
When they were trying to get black recruitment up, they who feared to see black police officers come on to the department lift up the standard, which they didn't come under that standard.
That's right.
So it used to be you had to have a high school or equivalent, and that's how most of them probably didn't pass the 6th grade. But the bottom line is, when it came time for getting black recruitment, they changed the goalposts. Now you got to get a degree. Now you got to have this. You got to have that. And so, not that it helped any, and most certainly was we would like educated. There's no question about it. Intelligent, well-educated law enforcement. That's on both sides. I'm not knocking that, but I knew the purpose of changing the goalposts.
Mm-hmm.
And so, therefore, we do have a disproportionate, to this day, of white off. The only 1 or 2 cities where you see a percentage tilt, and that is in New Orleans and in Detroit, Michigan. It may be changing a little bit now, but in reality, we have to do community police. Yes, 21st century police. I know about Cedric Alexander. And they try to use him, and they try to use my man, used to be the chief in D.C., as the foremost in community policing, and Ramsey. And every time you see CNN go and get these so-called scholars, if you check out their history, man, when they was chiefs, they didn't reduce crime. Ramsey didn't reduce crime in D.C. What makes him? Why would you go to a man that has no history of reducing crime when he was the chief and make him foremost as an expert? They need to stop that. Because in reality, you put these black chiefs over white departments, and they really tiptoe because their blue wall of silence is real.
Absolutely. It is.
White cops don't turn over white cops. And it ain't about color. It's about the color blue. So you can't come on the department and be black. You have to make a decision. Are you black or are you blue? If you black, you in trouble because you're going to stand against those cops who run roughshod in your community, and you're going to check them. And when you do that, you better be ready because you ain't going to get no backup.
Exactly.
So we have to police our own community. There's no question about it. And I go as far as saying that there are some good white cops, but in reality, if you're an Asian cop, I like to see you in Chinatown. If you're Irish cop, go to Hell's Kitchen. If you're Italian, Bensonhurst. But don't come in the black community with your white attitude. It just ain't, let black folks patrol and police black folks. We could do it. I really, really believe we could do it.
Absolutely.
That's called, you know what that's called? That's really called community policing. People from the community police themselves. And I told Badger about Robert Peel. Go look up Robert Peel. You want to know community policing? You want to know what the reality of community policing? See how far law enforcement off from the originator of community policing, Robert Peel. See how far off they are. They had good training. They had good intentions over there in Britain. But we don't have that no more. We have that them versus us. And when they come after us, you're right. The adrenaline is so high that it's like you chasing you after a deer. And after they get through, and hypervigilance is real because hypervigilance is created by adrenaline. But if you drink a coffee, you already got adrenaline. If you eating donuts, sugar, you already got adrenaline. They now got these monster drinks. They got adrenaline. They stay hyped. They stay hyped.
Yeah.
They love to check. Don't think they don't like. They join. I had some officers tell me, some rookie cops, and we go around and always ask them, what made you join the department? And some of them absolutely would tell you, I like chasing the bad guy. I said, okay, Officer Winsky, here's a pen, here's a chalk. Go up on the chalkboard and paint me a picture of a bad guy. See, the bad guy, to them, still wear black, and the good guy wear white. But in Michigan, just recently, they got these posters up, these targets, and they got black men's pictures on the targets. So what happens when all you trained to shoot at is a black silhouette or black man? After a while, you want to move from the paper to the real target. Oh, it's a sickness, man. It's really a sickness. But it's a reality. We're going to have to police and patrol our own community. That's my attitude.
Good deal. Good deal. Goddess, talk to me, sis.
You know, I hear that try to police our own community. I am questionable upon that. And I would love to be able to police our own community. But we're sitting up right now with a culture barrier where our youth do not respect our elderly. And we're sitting up, and I'm going to speak in general, right now, like in our jazz district. And our jazz district has turned to hip hop and R&B because we can't support our businesses, and then we still don't want that negativity. We just had some major shootings here in Kansas City. We have major shootings all the time, and it's getting worse. And to the point where you can't say nothing next door to your own business owner.
Mm-hmm.
You got, and we're the only black, and the fact of the matter is, which is real sad, because we're the only black business owners within that whole street. It's only 4 or 5 of us, and we can't even get along because the younger ones don't want to respect the elderly or respect the culture.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So how do you police yourself? Like, where do you go? Like, just simple stuff. You ask them, hey, don't put fish grease behind the building. That causes rodents. So, are you wrong for calling the police on them? I mean, not the police, but calling the codes? That causes issue. How do you police your own if they don't police themselves?
Right.
You get to a point where they have to have a certain amount of respect for themselves. Because when you come to them, I'm older. I'm an older woman. This is a younger woman. You come to them with, hey, I'll get a surveyor done. You come back to me with this hood mentality and hood perception. Now I could have retaliated back, but that's not my case. I have to grow up at one point. I'm steady trying to walk away from the situation, but I have to grow up at one point. Now maybe in my younger years, I probably would have been on.
Good deal.
And I would hope that we have to learn how to walk away from violence. But when you walk away from violence, they look at it as you punking or you being a punk. So how do you police your own? You can't. Because they don't have respect.
Okay.
There is no respect. They don't know how to fight. In college, hey, I could fight and live another day.
Let me get some response to what you're saying. I heard Leonard say something. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
Well, first of all, we have to realize that, first of all, policing is about enforcing the law, which just means that there must be law first. And often in black communities, we don't hold people to the law and enforce that. The reason why a lot of your places in your urban areas look so bad is because they're not enforcing the law. If it has to be this way for me as a business owner, it has to be that way for the person next door. Yeah. And the people in authority must treat everyone fairly. See, some of you love each other so much, you let things go. But see, it's different when you get to another level, like business owner.
Oh, you saying they turn a blind eye?
Yeah, but even like in communities, in black communities, you know about keeping grass cut, for instance. Let's take that. Some people don't believe that people cut their grass enough in their community. So you need to come up with something. Okay, if you want a nice community, who gonna clean it up? A lot of times we would go into communities and pick up trash in other people's communities. They need to be outside picking up that darn trash. If you look at South Fulton, the issue in South Fulton, you got some people want this quiet place because they don't bought their house there in residential area. Then you have a booming nightlife that wants to turn it into the strip, but don't nobody want to pay for it. See, like with business owners, guess what? If that parking lot tore up, y'all rent gonna be higher. That's just the fact. And guess what? Because I wanted to look a certain way, you're gonna have to have a red canopy over your door, just like all the other businesses, because we want a uniform look. That must be enforced. Stop allowing people to be less than and hold them to a standard. Push those people that don't care about their business enough to keep it up, to keep vagrants out of it, and all these types of things. They must be pushed out of business. Or they're going to have to come up to standard. See, you have no standards. That's why you have such a problem. And then every time somebody says, hey, you know what? Let's do better. There's always them folks that don't want to do any better. She look at Goddess and say, that's going to cost me more money. She got that kind of money to do this and do that. I ain't got that kind of money. And she can call the people on me. Well, because you need to be following the rules and doing exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah. Across the board.
Across the board. So We can police ourselves. We don't been through that fight before. See, white folks used to say that. Stop saying what white folks used to say, guys. Black people can police themselves, just like white folks police themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But you must have a law and a standard to enforce first. Everybody can't do whatever they want to do. You got to look at them standards first.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Let's go to Rico. What's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was thinking about what Dennis said earlier, man, about I'm trying to think what exactly he had hit on that I was thinking about. Well, you know, he made a point about making that choice. You know, sometimes, man, the truth is right in our faces, but you know, I believe we get distracted by, I don't know if it's information or just caught up in the evolution of things. But he made he said a key phrase. If you're black and you become a police officer, you have to make a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that with most black police officers. Even in Mississippi, think about it. Mississippi is majority black, but it's a conservative state. It always goes Republican. I think most of the judicial systems and the judges are probably still ran by the minority, which are white people. You know, so I saw a video of Black Panthers and some officers confronting each other about demonstrating. And the cop that was confronting the Black Panthers was a black man.
Mm.
He sounded like Uncle Ruckus.
Wow.
But he was probably just doing his job.
Mm-hmm.
But see, doing his job, he has to choose the institution and the system and the program, and he has to be loyal to it. He takes an oath, and he has to be indoctrinated into that belief system. You know, so we continue to live in this cycle of policemen abusing the system, and you know, having these issues where people are using black people as targets.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's an issue again. But guess what? It was an issue in 2015 when they did it in North Florida.
Mm-hmm.
They were using actual mug shots of actual black people that lived in Florida that had been arrested before for targets. And one of these people's relatives came in behind these cops and saw a picture of his sibling. If I ain't mistaken, it may have been his brother. Wait a minute.
What y'all doing? Yeah.
What all these bullets doing in mug shot? What mug shots are nothing but these black people? I know a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody had to stand up. But see, he stood up and went against the grain. He might not be a cop anymore. But you know, you have so many cops that would have looked at it and been like, hey, that's not racism. It's just mug shots of criminals. They've been indoctrinated because they had to choose between either being black or blue. You're either going to be black or you're going to be blue. And we already said on this show today where the blue came from, what the whole purpose of the blue was, and that was to catch slaves. So either you're going to be black or you're going to be a slave catcher.
Wow.
That's what it boils down to.
And it doesn't get no simpler than that. That's a very, very simple view. Look at it, evaluate it, take from what, eat the, like I say all the time, eat the meat and spit out the bone.
Ooh, get him, boy. Catch him, boy. Catch him.
You did
good. Good job, boy. Good job. Catch that criminal.
Exactly. Willa.
Hey, Raheem. Good morning.
Good morning, Willa. How you doing this morning?
I'm fine. Good morning, Glow.
We are talking this morning. We're talking this morning about what happened in Akron, Ohio with Jayland Walker. Willa, this man was shot at 90 times, a little more than 90 times, but he was shot. 60 bullets went into his body. 60.
Wow.
60, Willa. And because of the fact that 60 bullets went into his body, 60 bullets, you're pretty much dead. You're pretty much dead. They rolled his body over and put handcuffs on him. Well, I'm asking the question this morning. Why put handcuffs? What is that? Is that hate, humiliation? Why put handcuffs on a dead man? What do you say to that, Willa?
You know what, Raheem? First, that is, that is just so come on now. You putting handcuffs on a dead man, but they'll probably come up with the excuse or reason we're following protocol. So I don't even have an answer on why they did such. I don't know why they did it, Raheem, but all I know is that was a really sad situation. 65 times, 60 times.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I don't know. Is that much hate in the world?
Wow.
I don't know, Raheem. That was all I could say is that I don't know.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot, and it's really heartbreaking. Tucson, talk to me, brother.
Yes, it is.
Well, that's I don't know, man. That's just the state we're in. And it's been like that. And when there's somebody that aims, everybody start off. Just me. I'm just thinking. Not all of them, but let me just give the benefit of the doubt. For the most part, they start off with good intentions. But when the system that you get in is corrupt, and the ones that are in the superiors are set on keeping it like it is,
Mm-hmm.
we wanna make sure, just like I think Cap said, when the targets, you ever heard of, let me see if I can pronounce this word right, subliminal suggestions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When in training, what does the target look like?
Mm-hmm.
So, when we used to be watching TV, and in the background of the commercial or the TV program that you was watching, it would flash right quick, subliminal suggestions. And then you say, all of a sudden, I don't even know why, I want some popcorn.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna go and buy me a car.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So when you got a target that looks like me, what are the chances that you're gonna be looking for somebody else? Oh, you fit the description. I'm just going. I remember this now. I'm going pick up my kid from school. I'm going 54. I know I'm speeding. 54 in a 50-mile-per-hour zone. You pulling me over by gunpoint? Wait a minute. I got my family in the car.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me I done rob somebody and with my family in my car, and you looking for a hatchback, and I got a 92 Lumina?
Mm-hmm.
Really? But you looking for a black man in a blue car?
Mm.
Now that happened.
How many of them gonna go by? Black
I said,
men in blue
do
cars.
you realize how many black men in blue cars?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It just goes back to, and I'll say it again. The union that they're in backs and defends corruption at the end results. Because now the union is not a bad thing, because they also make you, they make them do, they're supposed to make them that are in superior do right by you. And then they increase your pay. So that's not a bad thing. But within that, the corruption that's set in place, it goes beyond the police department. Because y'all tell me if I'm wrong or right, I don't know. But police don't make no sentence. They just bring you in. And the lawyers and the judges and all the prosecutors and all of these, it's supposed to be in their hands. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
Can I
It goes-
hop in?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
So I clicked the link that Public shared, and I'm just going to throw something out there because it's a curiosity kind of thing. So let's say I'm just an ignorant person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they click on that link and they see that toddler treating that police officer in that manner.
Mm-hmm.
Then they click on the other link and see bad cops doing what they did. Then on social media, they see, good cops and good citizens, and things go perfectly fine. For the average Joe Smo, or let's say me pretending I'm like super ignorant of like what all is really going on, which thought process are they supposed to understand or look at in this entire situation when there's 3 to 4 different views at all times?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to answer you by saying this right here, Badger. And as unfortunate as it is, I think this is the reality. Is based on the day. It's based on the day.
What's that mean?
Because one day you could wake up feeling so high in a happy elephant and lady and porcupine proud, and you can view something that you look at the next tomorrow. If you wake up in a slumber or a bad mood or whatever, you could view that same thing totally different. So it's based on the day and who's actually doing the viewing, who's looking at it, who's watching it, who's observing. I would not expect, and I'm gonna use you as an example for a second, Badge. I hope that's okay. Fine. I would not expect for you to see and view a Black Lives Matter rally the same as David Dukes would. David Duke it's based on who's doing the observing. Captain, what's on your heart? Captain, you there? Oh, Captain, something going on with your volume, brother. We can't hear you. Leonard White, Captain, it's still messed up. Might need to go out and come back in. Your volume. We see you talking because your thing is moving. Yeah, there you go. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
Just listening, I was being silly as I remember Badger said he was ignorant, but it is.
I said I was pretending. All right. I know what's really going on.
And so it's sometimes we belabor a thing,
mm-hmm.
and we have to give our energy to resolving the issues.
Yes,
not just being shocked at the story. We should be past shock. We should be working to change it. That's where all the energy should be.
Mm-hmm.
And whether you viewed something there are a lot of things I don't like, but I do it because it's the right thing to do.
Yes.
That's it. I ain't got to feel, I can't hate Rico just because you hate it.
Mm-hmm.
Rico has to make me hate himself.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't join in and do that. Now that may not be normal. Maybe people are supposed to, how you get one, if you get one like Captain said, it's that infection and that virus that's called Sergeant that's the problem. You can teach them cats what you want to teach them.
Mm-hmm.
But if that virus is sitting in charge, everybody gonna be sick. Everybody. So we got to be more vigilant about removing bad characters.
Yeah.
Because, and then you'll say, well, why don't these people do that? Because that's not on their agenda. You got to go put it on their agenda. I don't stood in front of sheriff departments and everything and asked them, okay, what type of new training have you delivered officers as it relates to the law that just changed? And everybody get to look around. Did you not hear what I just asked you? Let a police, put it out there, a challenge. Any police chief that has told their officers not to shoot unarmed citizens, call in. Because ain't none of them done it.
Yeah.
Because there are still people who believe it's okay to shoot unarmed people. That's what you fighting against. You know, I'm not here to sit here and sit on with the pity party. What we gonna do to these jokers that's messing up? You got a guy running for sheriff. He the sheriff, but he got caught jacking off in the park and trying to flee a police officer. He ain't fit to be sheriff.
No.
Look, you say talk about you want to see racism in the police department. They've been after Victor Hill forever, and they got him. Remember all the people that filed lawsuits against Victor Hill when he went into the old boy and they elected him sheriff?
Mm-hmm.
All them old racist white folks filed against him because he was like, we can't have this. And everybody know Victor Hill ain't nobody to say you friends of if you doing the wrong thing in Clayton County. Because he don't care nothing about locking you up.
Mm-hmm.
See, he was a black man that was about it, but then even him got caught up in that whole system thing. He want to go enforce his power somewhere else. So you have to put up a safeguard against that in people you give this authority to.
Mm-hmm.
Executive privilege. I can do all the wrong I want, but because I'm the boss, it's okay. Come on, you know, you have to look at why things created and what we can do to make them better. What's wrong with your police force? It may better be the same thing in my town that's in your town.
Exactly. 30 seconds later. Mm-hmm.
We got some police forces that are very progressive. And like I say, good police and good police forces don't have bad records. They just don't. You can't take a bunch of rotten apples and expect them to be doing the right thing because they're not going to be doing the right thing. Trust me.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Captain, can we hear you now?
Yeah, how we sound?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, you know, man, it's good stuff, brother, and it's good stuff. I want to address the sister who said we can't police ourselves, and I really just think that we need to remove that thought, can't, because we have black police officers who desire to police their own community. I'm not talking about just not civilians. I'm talking about black police officers. They desire to be in the hood. There used to be a time where the only time you could be on the department is that you have to live in the community that you police.
Yes.
That was a big issue. That was how they was trying to get the white cops out of the black community. You don't live in the hood. So how can you police? And then we had those black cops that didn't want to live in the hood either. But I think they really do want to patrol their own people. I think they too are tired of being lumped in to a racist police department that's constantly abusing people of color, and they catching the hell with them too. I think they really want to separate. I really do. Matter of fact, I know black cops that rather patrol, and I would rather see them in the community. Because listen, you're going to see that black cop. He's not going to abuse his own people. Why? Because when he goes to the barbershop, I can walk up on him. Yo, man, what's up with you beating up my man? I ain't going to see that white cop. He ain't going to go to no black barbershop.
Exactly.
You got a better chance to find that black cop in the club. Out there on the damn, yo, my man. So we going to have access. So I understand what Sister saying. Yes, our young people are in a savage state, but that's our job. We can't give up on them. We got to go in. That's why I'm going into Akron. I know them brothers has created the climate to make the police want to shoot them, and they want to shoot the police. But I can't give up. I got to get them around the table, 10, 15, go in the barbershop. Yo, look at here, young brother. We can't save everybody. Well, show me what God saved everybody. Show it to me in the scripture what God saved everybody. We ain't going to save everybody, but those who really want change, they need to be given the opportunity. And let me tell you something about the law enforcement community. And I like what my man said, Tucson, subliminal seduction. You daggone Skippy. You keep shooting at a black target, all your training, black silhouette. And when you look at the black man, you don't see his face because there ain't no face on the black silhouette. So I don't give a damn about the face. Because the face make you human. So they don't want to make you human. You're a silhouette. You're moving silhouette. Oh, I know. I've been shooting at that. They don't want a human face on that silhouette. So we understand the dynamic we've been living in. They tried to kill me once. I was 14 years old. police officer was mad because he missed me. He got mad because he missed killing me. And when he took me to the bullet that launched in the wall, and he took my head, I'm 14 years old, and he called me a lucky nigga. I got mad because he missed. I wouldn't be here today to tell this story if God wasn't with me. If it wasn't for the fact I slipped on that daggone oil in that gas station. I slipped on some oil as I was running from him, and he thought he shot me. I hit the ground so fast, I didn't know he shot. But I know the mindset. We have always been prey. They've always been the hunter. Now, have they changed? The main thing, and I'm gonna close on this note. Two of the things that you hear in law enforcement is defund the police. They don't like that. And qualified immunity, they want that.
They love that.
They love qualified immunity. But ain't nobody talk about defund the police. Let me share this with you. If you are in a customer service business, I'm the customer. I pay your pay. I pay your taxes. I'm through my taxes. I pay your salary. I'm not going to pay for bad service. You go to the restaurant, Leonard, and you tell the people, and listen, I like to have, coffee with cream, and I like to have a bagel. And they bring you toast and no cream. Wait a minute. Are you going to pay for that? Excuse me, can I see the manager? I'm sorry. I didn't know what it is. The French fries cold. Oh, I'm sorry. You don't pay for bad service. You come in our community, man, you have not reduced crime. You have not reduced violence. And then you treat us the way you treat us. And you want us to continue to pay you. You daggone Skippy. Some of these departments need to be defunded or reallocated to community organizations that's going to give us the kind of service that we have. On the community side, you got to protect and serve. Well, what does that mean to the black community? We say protect white folks and serve black people a warrant. That's how we see it. Protect white people, serve black people a warrant. Now, that sounds extreme, y'all. I know that's a little extreme. I know that's a little extreme, y'all. Don't hold that. Don't start holding that to me. But I'm just telling you the mindset in the hood when I'm in the barbershop. That's what they say. But I do think we can change. And there are some good white cops who don't see color. You know the sad thing, Brother Leonard, if we put them in the black community, they may mean well. But black folks, the young youth is going to pack a wood. Pig. How you going to keep working in the community every time you walk by them, they going to spit on the ground? After a while, that white cop, he going to feel it.
Captain, got to keep it moving, Captain.
All right, I'm sorry. I got to
keep it
but
moving.
like you said, man.
The preacher done got up in you. The preacher done got up in you, Captain. Hold on there. We got to keep this thing moving. The preacher done got up in. But hold on, I got to do this. Leonard.
Yes, sir. There you go. The good bishop.
Bishop, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Hey, good morning, man. I'm blessed, man. Listening to the show, brother. And I just could not just sit back and sit by and, and not call in to give my 2 pennies of comment as it relates.
Man,
and having served as a police officer.
So, and I'm glad you said that, Bishop, because I got 98 cents. You just gave me a whole $1. There you go, my man.
No,
Give me
my
that
man is a whole $1. Whatever he got to say right now is for our benefit.
Go ahead, brother.
Man, it's funny. I got a call last night about an incident that took place, and I was trying to, make sense of the problem. But I explained to him and said, "Well, I'm no longer on the force, and so my words talking to the officer may or may not, because we got so many new officers on the street. The problem that we deal with in our society as it relates to law enforcement, you got seasoned veterans such as myself who have retired from law enforcement or resigned from it because of some of the forces that are imposed on them. And I have to agree with the injustice that's done by police officers on the black community, and so that is what they do. The sad part about it, it ain't the white officers that's doing more damage to the black community as it is the black officers doing the damage to the community.
Wow.
And that's one of the things used to irk me when I talk to younger officers when they get on the street and I'm trying to train them. I said, look here, don't target blacks. We target crime. Wherever the crime is, because you don't know if the black man committed the crime or a white man did the crime, whoever. So don't focus on the color. Let's see whether or not we can resolve the situation to the best of our ability.
Mhm.
But when you get called to a call, bro, and it is black people, and I'm one of the most civil guys you'll ever meet in your life. I'm not gonna come here and ready to throw the handcuffs on you, throw you on the ground, and none of that. I want to hear the story, and I want both sides. And you know, in these situations, and 99 out of the 100 calls that I made, is the black people that's acting a darn fool, cussing. We don't want you here. You like all the rest of them. Bro, I ain't even did nothing. I just came here to see what's going on.
Mhm.
I don't like to arrest you. That's never been my thing. I hated arresting people, period. I didn't care what color you were. But my purpose is to come here to stop or eliminate the confusion that's being done.
Mhm.
And sometimes I can get the parties to calm down and go to neutral places and I leave. But I tell them if I got to come back, somebody's going to jail. You know, and that's just it. The shooting in Ohio is ridiculous.
Mhm.
But and the logic behind it, I followed the entire story because they said he was driving, he shot at the police officer. But when he jumped out the car, he didn't have a gun on. Therefore, he's not a fleeing felon because there's no justification of him shooting. But that's what they tried to say.
Mhm.
Bottom line is, if we just sometimes just slow it down and try to be logical in our explanation to the officers without creating a hostile situation, and make sure, that we do have and able to record the footage. That way we'll have some when we go to court.
Mhm.
We'll have something to fight with to hold these individuals that use the badge as the hood that they did back in the days of racism.
Exactly.
And there are racists, and I know y'all may not believe it, but y'all do know that there are black people that are racist towards black.
Absolutely.
Or big
What?
Mhm.
So, man, I love your topic, brother. I love the responses that have been given. I just wanted to put my 2 cents in, and I do hope that my words add a little flavor to Rico and Captain and Leonard and Willa and Donald and Badger and whoever else made comments.
Mhm.
I love it, bro. Keep
Good
doing
day.
what you're doing.
Let me ask you this question, Bishop, before we move on to somebody else. We got a few more minutes before we get out of here. Explain to me, because you former law enforcement as well. Explain to me, why was it important for them to roll him over? This man has been shot 60 times. Obviously, he's dead, and put handcuffs on him. What was the purpose of that?
I think Willa closed that off when he said following protocol.
Mhm.
I think it was Willa who said that's following protocol.
Yeah, yeah.
Doesn't matter if you shot him, you still have to roll him over with the cuffs on.
Wow.
Until he is declared, dead. I can't. I, as the officer, one of the officers on the scene, one of the shooting officers, says, "Oh, he dead. Don't put the cuffs on him." You still have to follow protocol, and that is protocol.
Wow.
As stupid as it sounds,
Yes.
what stupid as it was, that is protocol.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Willa?
Yeah, Raheem.
Yes. What's on your heart, sis?
Well, he just kind of confirmed it as a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the things that they use to justify things that are not human. I follow protocol, but everybody knowing their job. Sometimes you don't follow protocol because it's the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then you stand on that.
Mm-hmm.
But that was just their excuse because they knew, come on, they didn't have to shoot that man 60 something. They shot 90, but they hit him 60. And everyone knew who shot the pistol, a gun, whoever it was, just needed some form of reason or excuse to justify what they did. Come on now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is, As each event happens, we have to, look at it and stand by and have our opinion about it. But something got to change, Raheem.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Something got to change.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Something got to change. Absolutely. Yeah. Now we got a little right at 4 minutes, so I'm gonna go around, touch a few more people. Better yet, I'm gonna ask if anybody have anything they want to say to this, but keep it around 1 minute because I want to move around and touch as many people. So make your comment as brief as you can. Anybody have anything they want to say?
I just want to make a brief comment about the policing, and one of the best examples is the FOI.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All black, very respectful, change things in communities all the time. We're not even saying you have to be a special type of person to be a good police officer
Mm-hmm.
with some moral values and commitment to the communities that you are policing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's the guy we should be looking to.
Mm-hmm.
Go to your, if you don't have a citizens review board, an actual national one participating in your area, start one. Concerned citizens get together, point
Mm-hmm.
out some things, and come up with 4 or 5 demands on that police department,
Mm-hmm. Good
and
deal. Good deal.
arrange that meeting.
And like I said earlier, if we're gonna take apples off a tree, you got to pull one out off at a time. And as you continue to do that, you look around. Before you know it, there's no more apples on the tree. The tree is bare. Anybody else
Hey,
have anything? 1 minute.
yeah,
1 minute.
let me address this, man.
Okay.
The police force and the system of even policing or being a cop that was designed or it was founded by slave catching, right?
Mm-hmm.
Original foundation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Slave
so
catching.
then they evolved from slave catching to being cops or police officers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same foundation, though, right? This is what this is the roots of it, right?
Yeah.
So imagine a black man trying to be a good officer, aka slave catcher.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough thing to try to sort of balance. You want to be a good cop, but then when you know really what the foundation of being a cop came from, just think about what you're participating in. See, you know, it's sort of being sort of misunderstood. I ain't gonna even say misunderstood. It's being chosen to not be understood. So now it's like, oh, so was Bishop a slave catcher? Well, if they changed the name cops back to slave catcher, he was.
Okay.
How about that?
Mm-hmm.
But see, this is the thing about it. Have you ever heard anybody give the order to take them alive? Because maybe if that was the order, that would happen a lot more often. We want them taken alive.
Mm-hmm.
But see, they're not programmed or trained to do that all the time. They're trying to shoot to kill a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and one more thing, I know we said a minute, but that video that everybody's addressing, everybody's appalled at the child, and I was too. But I was even more appalled at the cops that was laughing and giggling about it because they wasn't appalled. They thought it was cute.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good deal. Anybody else? 1 minute.
Well, I say that it is unfortunate that we have to deal with what we deal with in today's society. When I became a police officer, I took on the badge to protect and serve, not to abuse. And there are a lot that don't abuse, but it's unfortunate that the good have to suffer with the bad or get the same level of criticism as it relates.
Mm-hmm.
So if we do like I think Leonard was saying, these community groups get together and form a coalition that we can police the police, then we may be able to remedy a whole lot of these issues. Instead of being reactive, we need to be proactive, and that's what I'll say.
Good deal. Anybody else? 1 minute.
There's a thing that Captain Dennis shared with me called Sir Robert Peel's principle of law enforcement, which is what a lot of modern police go by now, which essentially is crime prevention, community trust and engagement, reasonable force is last resort, and they're never above the law. So they're now in the South, they were primarily slave catching from both in the 1700s. But the modern police took on different principles and things like that. So there's a lot of separation and tactics and illusions and misdirections and everything else, just like there is in our communities. So you're going to have bad cops and you're going to have good cops.
Y'all know what? Tomorrow's Way Out Wednesday. We'll touch on this police, the history of the police force, where it really came from, and we'll deal with a little bit of this tomorrow. It's not gonna be our main topic. It's not gonna be our main topic, but it's gonna be a part of our topic of discussion tomorrow. Go ahead, Tucson.
Here's the thing: when you look at some people and they look at the same thing you see, and they say, "I don't see nothing's wrong," even if they're the prosecutor and the judge.
Mm-hmm.
No harm done. No harm, no foul.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Can we cuss
Anybody
on
else?
Wednesday? Can we cuss on Wednesday?
I,
We need a
I,
cussing show.
look at I believe a few customers. I'm gonna say hey a couple of times tomorrow. Hey. It's gonna come out quite a few times tomorrow. Rico, what's going on today, sir, at 3:00?
If you missed today's broadcast and would like to see or hear the rebroadcast in its entirety, you can tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.dkmmediagroup.com.
Good deal. Good deal. Paul has a thing here. We're gonna come to you to read this one here for me. Read that for me. Oh, hold on. Get it back up there again. There we go.
I agree that white supremacists have always infiltrated policing, but they are not the foundation. That is just not true. Well, we'll find out tomorrow. I know what I've seen about slave catching.
And we're gonna talk about this tomorrow. So everybody make yourself available if you can. Come on, let's talk about this thing tomorrow. We're gonna start off with it. So get here as early as you can. That's where we're gonna start tomorrow. Cut it out, Leonard. This dude, what is dude? Captain, anything on your heart before we get out of here? Your volume gone again, Captain. Your volume gone again. Let me go to Rico. What's she at?
Oh, I heard her. I heard her earlier. I know she in here.
Is she here? Is she here?
I'm here, Raheem. Come on, let's go.
You ready to go?
Raheem, I am so ready.
Let's
go. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, Willa, you know what? Let's go.
Amen. Amen. Father God in heaven, Lord, we thank you as we come to your throne of grace with humble hearts and bow down heads. Father, we are asking you, oh Lord, to give us wisdom and understanding, oh Lord, about what's going on today, oh Lord. Father, we asking you to touch our law enforcement, Lord. Father, help them to understand that they don't have the right to take someone's life, Lord. Father, I'm asking you in the name of Jesus to do this. Father, we're asking you, oh Lord, for the protection around our young folks, Lord, not just black, not just white, around the young people, Lord. Father, they don't know what it is to do the right thing now, Lord. Father, I'm asking you, oh Lord, to soften their hearts, open up their minds to sound doctrine, Lord. Father, I believe you can do anything but fail. We trust and honor you this morning, Lord. Touch each and every last one that's on this line. Give them mercy, grace, each and every day. Father, we love you, honor you, and glorify you in Jesus' name. Amen, amen, amen. Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah.
Good deal, good deal. If any of you all get an opportunity, let me put it in here. www. I want y'all to go to spotlightinggeorgia.com. Let me see. I'm typing in here. Georgia.com. I get an opportunity, go check out spotlightinggeorgia.com and tell me what you all think about it. We actually just implemented a brand new magazine there. And I want you to go there and read some of the topics that's on there. Spotlightinggeorgia.com. Yeah, go there, take a look at it, and tell me what you think. Spotlightinggeorgia.com. Spell out the word Georgia. You can't do that GA thing. You got to spell out the spotlightinggeorgia.com and check it out. Now, it is now 10:05. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your day. It is now 10:05. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And then we shine some of this light on you for the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other. And please, please, please be blessed. Love you. And I'll see you tomorrow. God say the same.